welcome to episode 98 of Mysteries of Selindor. Gagnor's having a breakdown over the chaos. So, hi. Last week, we all came to in Clary's safe house, which turned out to be like on the moon, apparently. Just like, we got portal to the moon, no big deal. I told everybody what happened in my dream. I found out I had a seizure from it. We told Cleary over breakfast. And he basically said, look, leave Verona alone. Don't follow them anywhere. Body system's super important. Lay low. They're clearly up to some bad shit, and we're actually changing our entire plan. But we still want to know, like, what does Primus know? What's his involvement? What are they doing? What are they up to? But, like, don't actually engage. And,
I think they said it's okay to investigate and engage. Just don't follow them anywhere away from the normal places they might go. Don't follow them behind any hidden passages.
Careful.
Don't go behind the walls. If they go behind a bookshelf, don't go behind the bookshelf.
Yeah, observe, but don't follow. So Grim went to work on his project, and some goats died. We talked to Oren Luki down in the thing, and he was all like, oh, Mitnir's like a direct descendant of Bahamut, and like actually one of the original Oxbahamuti. I can't say that in Seti's accent. I don't know how to say it in Seti's accent. It's all gibberish. Anyway, but I mean, I don't know about.
He also claimed he was a sorcerer.
Yeah, I don't know about all of that. But Lord Rock told us maybe we should go see one of the Spectra, a person named Malady, about one of our fractures that we have to give to somebody who would be a fair judge. So maybe we'll do that soon.
To be clear, she never mentioned a fracture to him either.
No, I didn't. But I was just looking, I don't want to give everybody all of my info. Like, I got to, I don't want, people don't need to know. But we did Boxbreaker tryouts. They were a complete disaster. I really sucked at disarming that trap. Mitnir hit it instead and killed Oren and almost himself. But we did succeed in the time limit. So I'm hoping that at least some of us will actually make the team.
Killed Oren.
I mean, he's fine.
Oren left there and is like, yeah, I'm not doing Boxbreaker.
Gets back up, he's like, oh no, I've got one symbol left.
But we then proceeded to kick absolute ass at the Willow Womp thing. Oren really knocked that out of the park. So he immediately made the team for that. So that's good. And that's kind of where we left off. We talked to Celeste a little bit. She healed Mitnir's wounds a bit. And yeah.
All right, so as you get a few congratulations, a few scoffs, and jealous glances from the fellow members of the High Realm Academy, you leave the area and I assume head down to dinner with Cleary, which I assume is where you update him on everything we just experienced now. Is there anything anyone else would like to do tonight before we move on to the next day?
You know what Grim doing.
I feel like I did have some things I wanted to research, but I'm extremely brain dead today, so I do want to ask Oren, our local enchanter, tinkerer. Look, I really got my ass kicked by that box in there. And on the off chance that I do make the team, or maybe, even not just because of the team, but because I would like to be better at it in general, do you know of or think you could tinker maybe some kind of thieves' tools or something that would be better at disarming traps? Because I have thieves' tools that are pretty good at unlocking locks, but that's not the same thing.
Do you know any magics that do stuff like that already that I could incorporate into like an item?
Well, for magical traps, there's the Dispel Magic thing, which I believe Grim can do. And that would be neat, because then it would maybe just get rid of magical traps and maybe magical locks, and that would be, a twofer. There's also a wizard spell that I can't figure. It's too much math for me. Not enough music. But that one's really good at locks.
I can research it and see what I can come up with.
I'd appreciate that. It would definitely make things easier if I do happen to make the team and we come up against another box like that. I don't want Mitnir to have to kill everybody again. And
Pulls his sword onto the table. Best lockpick tool.
I mean, it did get the job done. And I'm just glad I wasn't standing next to the box too, or we would have really been in trouble. But I appreciate that, thank you. And I'll ask my brother if he has any advice. I assume he's good at that kind of stuff too, so maybe tomorrow I'll have a better idea of what could be done.
Out of character, is this your first time mentioning your brother around Orin?
Probably, yes. I think everybody knew I was going to go see him, but y'all never got an update on how that went.
I don't think I've been present for any of that.
Okay, yeah, so maybe it's the first time you're hearing about it.
Okay, so I'm just like, oh, you have a brother.
Oh yeah, his name's Labra. He lives in the Undercity. He's like half rock, Genasi thing. I don't know. He has like a funny accent and really good at stealing stuff. He threatened to cut my finger off, and he's moving some diamonds for us, and I'm expecting to hear from him soon. And she's just gonna like ramble about her meeting with her brother for until somebody cuts her off.
He lives in the Crystal Undercity?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where he lives, but he works in one of the mines there and took me to lunch at this place. But
Ooh, what kind of mine? Like a gem mine?
do I know? Did we?
You found him very specifically in the prismatic mines, which were gemstone mines.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh. I'm looking for some gems.
Oh, really? He could definitely hook us up. What do you need?
I'm looking for like a fire ruby and a blue gemstone. I forget what it was called.
Meanwhile, somewhere about 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet below you, off in the distance, you hear, "Bro, somebody's talking about me somewhere."
That's the brother.
Yeah. Well, I can't just say a blue gemstone of some kind because there are a lot of blue gemstones, but if you figure out what it's actually called, I can definitely ask about it.
One of each blue gemstone.
Well,
don't know the
there
freaking
are
word.
lots of types of blue gemstone. I don't know. Let's see. I do have some blue ones already, but they're not.
Assuming you guys are having this conversation at the dinner table, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, there's a myriad of blue gemstones actually. Is there anything particular you're looking for? I'm sure that we could procure it. But the topaz can oftentimes appear in blue. Sapphire, obviously. There are many different variations of which. I know that there are certain things, such as different kinds of feldspar can have a bluish sheen.
So now he's rambling about gemstones until somebody.
Are there
cuts him
any
off.
specific gemstones that would work better with like an item enchantment type thing?
Well, it depends. Oftentimes, the source of where it would come from. So, like an aquamarine, often would be very good if you were attempting to do something of cold nature in your spellcrafting. Oftentimes, certain coral-based, well, not quite gemstones, but petrified coral does a very good
Like
job for the
this?
same. Yes, right. Very good at taking in enchantments of specific natures. So really, it's about where it's sourced from. For instance, if you wanted to take something from the plane of fire, an actual fire ruby from the
Whenever
plane of
you're
fire.
rambling again.
Sorry, is there something specific if I'm not allowed to ramble, it's hard for me to make my way to any conclusions for you.
Well, I'm looking for the Magisteel and the gems, because I was going to make a set of items that would sort of link to like a mental pocket plane between the wearers of the items.
Interesting. Well, I would say that Seti would probably know more about that than I do. Certainly her father would, as they technically create a sort of pocket plane anytime a dream spell is initiated. Your
Yeah.
inner realm is in itself something of a pocket plane.
I feel it's kind of a mix between astral projection and dreaming.
It's similar in many aspects from what I've experienced as my Awakener studies have done well for me, is come to the understanding that you could use the inner realm as a place of communication, as one can enter it with you. Using that could theoretically allow you to do something to create an actual pocket dimension that was a physical place that you could create. Is a very different sort of excursion into magic and arcana that I would probably have to spend years researching to give you any useful information on.
Well, when I think about...
Well, it could just be the Magisteel, could be the conduit, and the gemstone is just decoration.
I would say twin stones, probably a singular gemstone that has been cut and split into two, would probably be your best bet. Something of the same substance that is literally grown in tandem could be used as a catalyst, in which potentially, if you're using gemstones as your catalyst, that would allow them to communicate with one another in a sense of it being one another, two separate but still oneself. Works better with organic materials, but I think the experimentation of organics when creating magic anything is tawdry at best.
I don't think I want to go there.
Well, so, my expertise, my amateur expertise is, the inner realm, the dream space where we go when we sleep, or not unconscious or whatever, but that uses sand.
Well,
The whole
I have a bit of
sand
experience
story
with it
about-
too, with the whole training. I think that was astral projection of some kind with my father.
That sounds like another good avenue to explore, and that is outside my realm of expertise.
Because I would wake up sore after those experiences. I don't know, I'm still playing with it.
Yeah.
Do we have any of that opal left? We had that one huge one we traded, but did we have any
traded
smaller
that.
ones?
I think Rapsy got the smaller one. I don't remember.
Not my opal.
Now there.
She clutches it like Schmeagol and is crouched in the
He
corner.
does not.
Not my precious.
Kita would. Propsy does not.
Babe, can I? Because it's a warlock spell that, I was like, maybe I go a bunch of warlock levels and get some of the same thematic stuff. But, can I say that maybe Seti would know some stuff about the astral projection spell from her planar studies course?
Sure. I mean, you've certainly learned something about
She's
planar.
been studying planar travel.
Yeah, and you've been studying pocket dimensions as well.
Also, the mirrors in the Hiram Academy do astral projection. Right?
Yeah,
That's how
so
those work?
I believe a gemstone is involved in that. A specific one. So if you wanted to go that route,
The thing about Arcana is intent and the use, not necessarily required to use specific items. creating your own arcana space or anything like that, any sort of arcana that you create, it's about intent, and it's about using a medium which you are skilled in. For instance, I can accomplish quite a bit with, well, I recently had Seti's brother procure me some moonstone, which is a medium that I'm very familiar working with, and I've been able to create very close to completing my own creations with it. It's, for me, the most familiar material that I'm able to malleate into just about any form of arcana that I might try to pursue. Perhaps you should try looking into something that is kindred to you, which could be to say something of celestial nature, or could be to say something of far nature.
I mean, I haven't really. I've just been kind of using all kinds of different things.
For instance,
my
if you're
projects,
saying that you don't want something that can be used by other people, but specifically yourself and another person, perhaps using something and imprinting onto it your basically a gateway directly to your consciousness and soul, a link, and give that piece to another person. So, for instance, a bit of sunstone from the plane, any celestial plane that you might hail from, I'm not sure which one it is that you directly come from, might be a good gateway to allow your mind to connect, or for another person to connect you. And for instance, let's say the person that I'm really hard at veiling things. This is something about that princess we hear about. So let's say that you find like a firestone ruby from the plane of fire, and then imprint her soul onto that. Maybe it would allow you to communicate one initiating the other.
I had no idea that's what this was about. Orin, you cheeky bastard.
People oftentimes forget I'm sitting in the room when they start talking. I once heard Bropsy
Well, I'm in. What can I do? Let's make this happen.
You once heard me what?
the two, you and Bropsy and Lauren, literally just talking about their plans to create something in which they could. I was in the room. I was sitting right there.
Were you? I didn't think we were in Clary's room when we talked about that.
We weren't in my room, but I was there, just standing.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Often, very often. We were in a woodworking class together. Never even said hi.
We were? Are you sure?
Why are you in a woodworking class?
Well, because I've been sculpting stone for such a long period of time that I thought I would try whittling again. It was one of the baser sort of, and he continues to ramble.
Hey, now, despite anxious people tending to tremble a lot, you sit very still. So it's easy for people to just not see a presence.
To be honest
Also the
with you,
hunched
I
shoulders.
spent several, I don't want to say millennia, but millennia, attempting to be as unseen as possible. And it has become a bit of a habit of mine to melt into the background.
Well, it's not our
Fair
fault then.
enough.
So-
I wasn't actively trying. It's just...
Do
I
you
always
get
know when
counted
they're
as
around Clary.
absent from class a lot then?
No, because there's no real roll call taken to any of these classes. And you have to walk in to anyone specifically, and then you're magically charted as having entered that room, and there is a price tag basically immediately sent into a ledger that says that you arrived inside that classroom and are partaking of the lessons. And if you leave within 10 minutes, technically it's considered an auditing of the class, and you get refunded.
It has like a little picture in
You
the
do
back of his
that a
head
lot,
of all the
Clary.
classes.
Yes, I will often dip into a classroom just to see what the level of the professor is and see if I might like to do some sort of projects with them sometime in the future, maybe for the advancement of the University of Phoenix, which honestly it's become a bit of a pet project of mine to make them succeed.
Does this mean Mitnir's never been charged for a class? Because he goes in, and then as soon as they say the first thing he finds interesting, he's like, great, and then leaves.
He's just
Okay.
kind of like,
It's like, you know what? You might be right.
Well, I'm going to bed. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
So unless anybody has anything incredibly important, it'd be nice to move on to our next day.
You're just
Don't
like, wait,
forget-
is this
Gagnor,
nighttime?
you need to remember to buy health potions in the morning.
As he
Oh,
leaves,
this was breakfast.
don't forget my majesty.
Like, oh no. So after you guys like call dinner, like finish dinner, you see the little Wednesday Addams looking girl and Brogy are just sitting outside the door, and Brogy's like, "Oh, they are your meeting dinners. I know. The gold seat is reacting."
Oh, fun. Fun. Oh, Brogy, I need to ask Brogy a question. Brogy, do you know is the land in the tower already enriched?
We do enrichment to the soil. Brogy does not know if we put in animal bones that we have ground up.
No, I mean like magically enriched. You're like,
Oh, Brogy is not the most magically inclined when it comes to those things. But
okay, well, Grim is going to try that later tomorrow. Then we'll try that and see if that does anything.
yes, you can try. Brogy will witness the great power of the Mushroom King.
Gonna take a while, so wake me up early. You'll probably be taking
Brogy
samples or
will
something.
wake you first thing tomorrow.
Great.
Okay. So, is there anything?
Can I get a reminder on what kind of a creature Brogy is?
He's a boggle.
Okay, I gotta
He's-
Google that.
He's not the cutest little thing.
I think he's adorable. You can Google it on D&D Beyond.
I am indeed.
I like him.
Oh, okay. That helps. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is she just like a Swift Devlin or something?
A what?
The Wednesday Addams type of little gnome. Is she like a Swift Devlin? How do you say it?
I don't specifically
deep
know
gnomes,
that.
the
Deep
Underdark.
gnomes. She does not appear to be a deep gnome. She has very pale skin, but it's not exactly. It doesn't take on much of a gray hue. It's just.
Okay,
It's
she's just
pale.
like an
She-
otaku.
kind of a mushroom otaku in a way. Yeah.
An albino.
Yeah, she's very much she's very small, and she is very very thin, and she like her clothes like meld into this one black thing. Like she has like some yellow adornment, like a little like just like a little symbol, like a little phallic mushroom symbol, and that's the only way you know that she's from your school. Like otherwise, she just wears like pure black.
She's allergic to color, just like Wednesday.
My aesthetic. So.
Yeah, she does not talk much.
Mm.
Cool.
All right. So, with that, I assume everybody else finds a respite for the evening.
Yep.
And at 12:01 a.m., Brogy shakes you awake. It is morning.
I don't know what time we went to bed, but how early? Is that early enough? How long have I slept?
I'd say about 4.5 hours.
Oh, that's fine. That's clear. Okay, so Grim's gonna start casting plant growth in the tower for the next 8 hours.
Okay.
So
The next
all the
8
all the-
hours.
It takes 8 hours because that's the one that all plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range become enriched for 1 year. And they
Oh.
yield twice as much, blah, blah, blah. So he's just going to enrich all of the plants.
Interesting. Okay,
to
so
produce more.
you spend your time doing that today. This is an interesting thing that you're doing that I wasn't expecting. So go ahead and give me a D100 roll for each of the different mushroom colonies that you have running for any additional effects that will happen other than them just growing faster.
Let's see, what do we got? But one of them's high. The other two are not so high.
Okay.
Let go.
Say you're
Did it not? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I rolled a 15
okay.
and a 14
Okay.
and a 97.
Okay. What's your level?
What is another 14?
Level's
It's
14?
a third level. It's a third level spell.
Okay. So on the 14, which is the first one, so I'm going to say that those are the blood spores. I'm using divine intervention rules when I use these D100s.
Okay.
So, which is the same thing I do for Seti whenever I have her roll a random D100, or for Mitnir usually when I have him roll a D100. So the blood spores that you have that were soaked up and grew a little bit on the thing, you see that they have actually turned the soil bloody.
Nice.
The soil in the entire area surrounding them is spreading and seeping blood, and it has infected some of the other plants around. And you can see that a small colony has started to sprout up in the neighboring set of soil where you originally placed the death cap.
There you go.
Something is sprouting in that soil that is now bloody and muddled.
Crim's gonna be like, man, I should have realized I was a druid a long time ago. I should have...
You also notice that the goat that has these blue spores, these blue blood spores on it, there are veins that are pulsing and moving through its flesh. The fur has completely fallen off of it, and whatever it is, as you walk by, it goes, and you can see that its horns have become like spores, like twisted spores. Everything, like its whole body, has just completely mutated. And it is still alive and moving, and you can see that it's kind of drooling, and when it drools, blue ichor is pouring from its mouth.
It's so cute.
So everything in there does actually grow quite a bit faster after your day's work.
Great.
But that'll still put you at 8 in the morning after a full day's worth of work on that. So you still have pretty much the rest of your day. But I will say you're going to take a point of exhaustion if you do another full day's work on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he's tired, he'll go to sleep. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. Oh, and he's also gonna, once all that's done, I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants.
Cool.
But
Well, we'll get to that.
The mushrooms questions.
Sure. So let's make our way to morning, as everybody comes to consciousness. As we know, Grim has already been working on things this entire morning so far. What would everybody like to do with their day?
Is there anything scheduled for today?
As far as you guys know, there's nothing particularly scheduled. But there's reports, Oren would know about this now that he's spoken to the past few days, and I haven't really mentioned it. But the day in which the qualifications are being set for this is the final thing is happening on Farron's Day, which is going to be exactly 1 week before the start of the actual pentathlon. It's the final day for submission on all Neo Arcana and whatever it is. My brain's not working.
The artificial
Inventions. So any new spells and inventions.
Okay, so today's Tuesday, and this is on Friday. We're fine.
On Friday at the High Realm Academy. So not sure what the regulations are at other schools, but that is what the final admission for High Realm Academy is in 3 days, where they are trying to decide. They're gonna basically, you submit them, and then they're gonna spend the next few days deciding on who's going to represent the school. So, with the exception of that, you don't have any additional information or anything scheduled.
Cool. I should probably finish my board today.
I guess I would tag along with Orin to get into the forge again.
Unless you wanted to do alchemy tryouts. If you want to pursue alchemy tryouts, but none of you have shown interest in that, so I assumed that you're just letting that whole pass through.
I'm
I
doing
mean, if
Do
for
I,
some
or wait.
reason,
That's at their school that I'm asking
Oh,
specifically.
okay.
If
Does
you're
my
talking,
school even have tryouts? Or
you,
they just
you
like,
haven't really pursued any of that information, so
I guess, okay, I'll be like Wednesday or whatever. We'll figure out what I gotta do to do this.
you know what? This is one of those moments where I never actually. Certain I named her once, but we should name her for real.
We'll let her like go do our like stuff because Brogy's obviously he's gonna just be busy being Brogy.
Mhm.
Maybe she can run and do that and make sure that we're all signed up for everything.
Yeah, her name is Morwa.
Morwa.
That just Wednesday. as well.
Morwa Rose.
No, it's just I literally just did a fantasy name generator for gnomes just now and picked the first one I saw. That's officially her name.
Her name is Morwa Nose. Not Rose, just Nose because she's I know.
Morwa Knows. There it is. Her last name is now Knows.
But it's Knows.
Yes.
Also has a ridiculous accent.
She talks the same as she's always talks.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, of course, I'll get back to you with good news.
What's my guildmaster's name? Is it Willow?
Willow.
Is that? Okay.
Mhm.
And she seems to like me. So.
I don't know. I don't know if you've
Probably just
spoken
be
to
surprised
her
that-
since you got into the school.
It doesn't really seem like she likes to be bothered, though.
You've certainly taken over the floor that you were on. Speaking of
I
which,
don't know that she cares really if anybody like. Is anybody else like sober enough to compete?
well, it's hard to say for sure. Let me go because I want to find out where enrollment is that where it
turns
is?
out they take this like super serious. Every single
Just
one of them's
one
down.
thing.
A couple
Yeah,
people
well,
are
TJ,
completely
Only
sober.
the Papillon.
They're lined up
So
by
the sport club is on
soldiers.
the 10th floor. So you've taken over the top floor.
Yeah.
The 5th floor has also, as you've passed it down on your way down for the breakfast meeting, which assuming you probably skipped that this morning, actually. You're so busy. But on your way
Casting an
down
8
to
hours
like, yeah, just like, go do whatever minutia you're doing. You pass floor 5 and you see the botany room. The botany club is losing their shit.
In a good way?
Because suddenly, as you walk by, a lot of the man-eating plants that they have been working with have actually reached man-eating size. So there's a guy going, bro, I don't like being in your mouth today. No. And you hear that as you're going down through like the stairwell of the.
Well, if he sees that, the Grim will be like, "Wait, you put him down."
You still can't speak because you're casting.
Well, I mean, no, even if I don't.
Oh, they still understand you. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and I have
make a persuasion check.
I have advantage against with persuasion for plants. 11.
So it's like chewing on this guy, and it just kind of like, and like see like this kind of like this like twisted. I'm talking like straight up Mario looking freaking plant with the teeth and everything going on as it's got this like dude in its mouth, and it just like waggles its like whole stalk over towards you, and then just chews at you. And there's like you can swear that you see like little eyebrows looking at you, just going meh, meh, meh.
Hey, I'll give you some goat bits later, okay? Just like don't eat that guy.
You watch as he basically like this thing comes out covered in slightly like you see like the top layer of skin is slightly dissolved by acid as it pours out of the scene. He goes, I remember my birth parents. And then you see
Because the botany club is basically they're just growing drugs for the most part, right?
That's mostly what they grow.
Yeah.
They are a bunch of stoners, but they also, you can see that there are man-eating plants around there. There are also a variety of, I don't know if you spend a lot of time on this floor, but as you pass by, a variety of alchemical ingredients.
Well, then he'll definitely be spending time there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
for when
probably
he's like doing his studies and stuff with it.
the most extensive collection of like vague and some of them unrecognizable plants that you've ever seen in one place. There are like multiple greenhouse rooms throughout the entirety of the tower, which isn't a huge tower. It's not one of those space expanding towers. But when you look around the room, there are like different grow rooms, like in like clusters around the exterior of this room, and each one has like a different temperature control going on inside. You can see like one of them on one side looks like a desert, and like has actual sand at the bottom of it. Another one across the other side literally is snow for the first like 4 inches on the bottom of. You can see the soil like just piled up. You can also see like snow growing out of it, and like there's like a singular flower like cresting up that's like twisted and crystalline, and a few other things within this grow room as well. But just like you'd see that they're working on like some very insane plants, and like this place isn't just filled with people who are stoned, but you do see that there is a very large section in the middle that is just marijuana hybrids, like
Definitely
so-
some psilocybins and
yeah,
Yeah.
like you can see that they're like, and I don't know if you guys have seen some of the crazy grow ways that marijuana plants grow, but these look slightly alive with the number of like tendrils coming out of the buds, and like just the way that they like are growing is it's kind of alien looking in there.
wood stuff. Yeah, well, it's good for them then, because I guess this means all of their rare plants and stuff are going to be producing twice as much. So good for
As
them.
Fae, they do a pretty good job of growing things themselves.
Yeah.
But with the spell that you spent 8 hours doing, you have enhanced it additionally.
There we go. Everybody wins except for the guy that's getting eaten.
So with that, I know that you are in the cast Speak with Plants. Is there anything else anybody else is doing this morning other than your obligatory morning meeting with Cleary before heading off to do your own thing?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna check in with my classes, and I have this new habit of wearing my glasses more often and doing scans of like the crowds I pass, the rooms I'm in, looking for
Mhm.
more like tendrily, void darkness or suspicious looking people.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Hell yeah, dude.
I guess on the same thought as that though, Mitnir sticks his toe in like every puddle now.
Everybody's just gonna
Just-
start
just
going
a-
10
just a
minutes into every
toe.
classroom.
No,
Is
no,
it a go-
not classrooms, puddles.
Oh,
like from the
literally
water.
a puddle. So you're leaving the
Yeah.
school to go like check out the
No,
puddles.
so like
throughout
If
Selindor?
he sees a
anytime I
puddle.
go past a puddle, like if there's one like next to a sidewalk or a pathway, he's just kind of like.
I'll have you make me an investigation check for this as well. Because of the nature of Selindor Academy, the only place where there might be puddles would be topside on the Tower of Thought's little main landing. I'm not sure. I don't remember what that area is called.
Tower of
Academy
Thought
Plaza.
sounds fun.
The Academy Plaza lawn is the only place where there might be an accumulation within the school itself of a potential puddle.
That was an 18 for mine.
18. Roll a d12.
Speaking of experiment,
Where's it going to end up?
It's a 2.
2. Okay, hold up.
Oh, I guess I can take a long rest, eh?
It does wonders for the hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the thing I wanted. So, okay, so you do dip your toe in, and the pool. Oh God, see this is why I'm so bad at things, because I don't. There's a list specifically for the colors of the pools.
I assume
and-
we met for breakfast before our day really started, right?
Yes.
Mm.
yeah.
Probably not Grim. He probably just like called.
Yeah.
Outer planes. There we go. There it is. Oh, it's emerald. It is an emerald pool, almost blending completely into the grass on the upper lawn, which is like this like rich emerald green color. You see like this pool of just like where it looks like you kind of just see like a shimmer across like a little dip in the lawn. And when you get in there, you find like this very small puddle. And it's no bigger than like your head, but you can see that there's like this tiny little pool of accumulated just green on the lawn.
Sticks a toe in.
Okay. You stick a toe in.
I'll
Yes, hear
probably
that?
spend my
Did you
day
hear that? Did you hear that
crafting.
tone that just played through my headset?
Mhm.
You heard that?
Ding.
Yeah, you
Nope.
hear that as you put your toe in.
Are you doing any shopping today, Seti?
No.
It just like rings through your whole body. There's just like rings through your body, and you feel it kind of like buzzing for a second. And as you pull your toe out, you see that there is a tooth on the other end of your toe.
Is it
Like
my
something-
tooth or like something bit me?
You feel like whatever it is, it did try to bite you, but its tooth kind of broke off on your scales, and you didn't even like really feel it. But you've got like this sort of like a little bit almost like of a like a little weird sensation of kind of like electricity running up your body, but it wasn't electricity. It was some sort of other kind of power you've never felt before. And there's this bit of like tooth on the tip of your toe that you just kind of like pluck out from between
Yeah.
the scales.
Just go on with my day.
Yeah.
Like,
You just toss
That's
it on the
weird.
ground.
no, keeps it. Just
Oh,
like,
just like you went. Just
no,
like-
he plucks it out and just kind of like, I'll ask somebody else. I don't know what it is. Like,
Cool.
Later, he meets up with Cleary. Can you identify this?
pretty much.
Yep, that's a tooth.
100% human tooth. No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely elongated sharp. Looks more fang-like, but it's not. It's only like this long, so it's not like bam, motherfucker, or anything like that. It's like this small little fang. Okay, so
Got a 25 on mine.
on your investigation check, shit, you guys are just too strong.
I
It's
have a
wild.
plus
Not
0
me.
on my
skill
investigation.
checks suck.
You all roll so well. Go ahead and roll
rolled
me
an 11.
roll me a d12, babe.
My skill check is a plus 10. I don't know what they're doing, but
4.
Oh.
You see the thing that bit.
You see a robot walk by at one point. And when I say robot, I mean significantly more complex than any of the mechanical entities that you have seen around Selindor. Now, you've looked at these things several times before, and when you look at a Modron through these glasses, oftentimes you'll just see like the little bits of human parts, and they'll have like a number, like just listed, like a serial number, like listed on the side of them. This one doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have any inner working gears. It looks like whatever its body's made out of is some sort of malleable alloy, and the way that its muscles run over it, like it looks like a not organic material, but some sort of material that reacts in the same way. It's a strange hybrid of different parts. You've never seen anything quite like this before. The most similar thing would be the quasi warforged drones that you saw that they made for your very recent trial for
Right.
Wistfall.
If I slide my glasses down, does it look like a Modron? does it
No,
look
you
like?
actually see an individual, and this was well out of the corner of your eye as you finally saw this individual, and you look over, you see an individual in a black robe, no features discernible, walking around and this is just sort of heading around in the main area of the halls of erudition. So it's not like he's in a classroom, but he's between the classrooms in the catwalks that go between these sort of mechanical boxes that move in and out to create these classrooms.
And it's pretty rare to see people in black robes, right?
Black robes
I mean,
are like
or
there are
is
people
this
that wear black robes, but usually they have
just
like
by
a symbol on them that at least signifies what school they're from. He has no such symbol on him. The only
are
other
these,
time you've seen
like,
a
the
robe like
robes?
this is in Varuna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll be right back.
So I feel
Interesting.
fairly confident in my assessment that this is a suspicious guy.
Yes. The only thing that truly stands out to you is that there's one part of him. Actually, make me a perception check to see if you actually truly notice this.
Perception check. Well, prepare to be perceived. Nope, that's bad. 18.
18? I mean, yeah, this is
Yeah.
crazy looking mechanoid. Like, and again, I said like he, but it's completely non-gendered. You can
Right.
just tell that it has.
So is there anything like, okay, it's made of this non-organic, organic seeming alloy stuff.
Mhm.
Is there any wisp of like the void or tentacles or mist or anything like spooky scary?
Skeletons?
I know what he
Shivers
is.
down your spines.
I know what he is. Or at least I know what I want him to be.
Yeah. So the only thing that seems like well, make me an insight check.
Okay. Boy. 15.
15. You're noting that when you look at the way that the muscles interact, because this individual isn't moving much. They'll sort of like walk a bit and sort of like and then they'll sort of like vanish behind the mechanical workings, almost as if they know exactly where everything's going to go at any given time. They'll like step onto a gear and just move up and then step back off when they're on top of one of the things, and they'll just kind of be peering down at individuals, but they're not looking with real curiosity, but they'll move over. But as they make these movements, you'll oftentimes see the muscle fiber that moves over the metal will kind of like flick itself open, and like kind of almost like it's stretching. A little like tendril will come out and kind of and then go back in under the metal.
Okay.
But it's kind of got like a bit of that not quite pinkish hue that you saw on the other one, but it's got like a sort of like eerie, like an eeriness to the hue of the flesh alloy that's there.
All right, so I'm just gonna mark where he's going, and that's basically it. Like I said, not gonna follow. Gonna play by the rules, but I just want to see where.
Yeah. So as you spend more time watching him, I will get back to you on that. But you can watch him as much as you want. He never completely disappears from you, and now that you've noticed him, you realize like for the rest of the day, as much as you want to watch him, he is watching other individuals within the halls of erudition. He's moving about the space almost completely unnoticed. If he ever does walk near another individual and they see him, they just sort of like go, oh, excuse me, and then just walk around him. Nobody really addresses him more than just he's a body that's there.
Yeah. Basically, then I want to try to just blend into the background. Maybe I'll pull up. I don't know. Would that draw more attention if I was trying to be invisible?
Who knows?
I have a question. What happened to not doing things alone?
Look, we were just going to my classes.
Here's my additional question. Are you attempting to not being noticed spying on him, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like
I need you to make me a stealth check. Or sleight of hand, your choice. In the sense of just stealing glances and
Slide
trying
ahead,
to
pulls
see.
up newspaper.
that's a 26.
26? Okay. She doesn't seem to note you so far.
Yeah, I'm basically just gonna have some books. Find a like this is a common area, right? Like, are there like benches or like little green spaces or
No, there's no green
tables?
spaces within the halls of erudition. It is very mechanical brass.
Right. Okay. But are there like places I could sit where I could keep an eye on him?
Yeah, I mean the walkways change pretty regularly.
Oh, we're
But
just on. Okay. We're just in
yeah,
hallways.
like it's sort of it. Well, it's not even hallways. There's nothing enclosed here except for the rooms that are moved around and created and uncreated after the classrooms are done with them, and after the professor leaves, you'll see some of them just like break down into smaller boxes and move stuff around. But with the exception of that, there are like certain areas where you will see like a bench of just like word metal will just like pull itself out, and people will sit there for a while. And then like there'd be like a click, 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 almost like a quick timer, and then they'll stand up, like just knowing that that walkway is going to disappear soon. And so you'll know, since you spend some time in the halls of erudition, that it'll click for like a full exactly 60 seconds, and it's 1 second per click.
Okay.
And it'll go
So
click, click,
I
click,
could
and you have that many
theoretically-
seconds to clear the area where the clicking's happening before the whole thing will break down.
I just want to know if he's one of my favorite things.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna go to my classes like normal, and I'm gonna pass back through and like clock this guy for as long as he's there. I'll just try to make it part of my routine to just kind of pass by and see if he's still there. And if he is, then I'll like maybe sit down on one of these benches, look like I'm taking notes or studying a book or something. And just kind of like keep an eye on him. And I mostly want to see if I can clock who else he's watching.
Okay.
That is my mission for the day.
Okay, you spend the whole day following this thing around?
Maybe like not like the whole day, but like
Okay.
the whole
Well,
morning, like until
the
till
whole
like
morning,
1 p.m.
Sure, like 1 p.m. Sure. Go ahead and make me a investigation check again.
That's a 19.
19. He seems to specifically be watching a lot of the people that catch your eye. Individuals that seem to stand out in the way that they do things or doing anything that's odd. He seems to be watching them. Like, he doesn't seem to spend a whole lot of time staring at any individuals that are just traversing single-mindedly from one activity to the next. Like one that's leaving or entering a classroom, perusing the prime catalog, having a short conversation with somebody. But anybody else that seems to be watching other individuals or hiding or doing anything remotely suspicious, his eyes seem to lock onto.
Okay,
For a
so
while,
he's
and
just
he'll
he's
follow them.
just he's just kind
And
of
his eyes lock onto you every now and again, but you're good enough to like kind of just do before it. And when his eyes do lock onto you, like, it's a bit unnerving because there are no eyelids on this thing, but they are very, I would say, they're very organic looking eyes set into like this sort of mechanical sort of skull.
Yeah, I guess once I catch on to the fact that he's just looking for suspicious activity the same way I am, then I am going to pack up and I'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna be late. Like I, lost track of time or something, and I'll just kind of blend into the crowds like I gotta go to another class.
Cool.
Okay, but out of character. Wait, out of character, is it a Koliard?
I don't know what that is, so probably not.
One of the inevitables.
Oh, then maybe.
It's the more human-like one that is about laws and stuff.
Then technically yes.
They're cool. They're just really cool. But they're not stat blocked and heavy. So.
Hey. Okay. I guess that's it.
I'm gonna go look at the different versions. Yes, he is the more humanoid. He is a more humanoid-looking. The one in the center. He's he's most similar to that one, but he has kind of like it where those gaps and mechanical bits are. there's more like flesh kind of pulled
Right.
over it, and the flesh seems unnaturally there.
Yeah, they're like some of my favorite D&D creatures because they're just
Yeah.
like,
I
you
just
break a
didn't-
rule, these guys mess with you. Like they will come and just end you. Like the
I
one
don't
on the
want
left.
spoilers
Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
because I don't know.
they're just really cool. That's all.
Okay. So you were saying we're heading.
I mean, I guess like once I head out, I will go grab lunch. Try to
Cool.
reconvene with some kind of buddy.
I will be back with you in just a moment as you are at lunch. Mitnir, what are you up to?
I guess I would just be working my way to see if I can go do more like craft work towards the
Yeah,
blade.
okay, go ahead and make me a roll today. Do you want to give him advantage or you want to take advantage?
What am I roll? Just a D20?
Yep. It's a D20 plus your. In this segment, I think your planning is more or less done, and you've begun the actual production method. So for this one, I would say, what would you like to focus on? That's my question. Would you like to focus on the blade aspect or the fine intricate tune work aspect?
I guess right now it would be the blade aspect, and like I'd give him the dragon bone piece and stuff like
Cool.
the rest
You
of the
can use
materials.
strength and proficiency as you actually hammer forge the blade.
So strength and proficiency. I'll take the advantage then. So 2d20s. Really? I rolled double sixes. It fell off the 20.
All right, what's the total?
So let's see. That's strength is 8, so that's 14. That's 19.
19. So what you find yourself doing is you actually make a couple of blades, like just a couple of like, and it doesn't take you long because you've learned how to do this. What you found is that the metal that you were using is not very good for this. So you're sort of like the first metal you try, you're like, this isn't good, and then you realize, much like Oren, you might have to go out of your way to get something that remains strong and can have these moving parts that you need, while still being like, capable of cutting through anything. You know what I'm saying? That you would need it to be able to cut through. So you would, as you talk to the your partner, what name did I give you for him?
I
don't have
along the lines of Karik.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know. I spelled it the best I could.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's like, oh, right. It's Karik. Yeah. It's oh, I think we might have to get our hands on maybe something stronger, like orichalcum, or maybe magisteel if we wanted to be better at channeling and conducting any form of magics or anything like that. Mechanically speaking, orichalcum will do fine. But for fine tuning,
Mitnir just pulls out his seal and calls the Black and Delvers thing.
Oh, he called Black and Delvers?
Yeah.
He's like,
just like stops him. He's like, wait, hold on.
It's like, oh, hello there. Good morning. How can I help you?
You guys remember me, right?
Oh yes, you're the one with Oren, yeah?
Yeah. I know we took some stuff recently, but is there orichalcum in there too?
Well, we're not pulling a whole lot of orichalcum out of the veins around that area. It's not non-existent, but it is rarer. If you want, we can probably procure you about 5 ounces worth of orichalcum today. I can get you a pound by the end of the week.
I'll look at the other guy and go,
well, end of the week would be pretty late for us. We might need it sooner.
How much do we need?
Orichalcum is dense, and the sheet that we're doing, it'll be pretty thin. But the more metal we have to work through, the better, I would say, in this situation. Probably about 2-3 pounds worth of orichalcum would do as well.
I'll see what I can do before the end of the week.
Right?
And just to the Black and Delvers, I'll be like, don't worry about it. I'll try and get it somewhere else in the meantime.
Right, fair enough. You're far more reasonable than Oren.
Guy just like slowly hangs up at that. Like, wait, is that a good or a bad thing?
It's like, right, Well, I'm just about done, and you see that he is like working on like getting like he seems to have processed the bits and like little rivets around the what appears to be, I guess, like the opalized petrified dragon bone.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, do you ever investigate what kind of dragon this might be, or what this
Nope.
was? Or okay,
Nope.
well, as he's cutting through it, like he seems to have like reached the point. He's like, no, I noticed you actually seem to have quite a bit of a good carving skills. So if you want to work on the hollowing, you can, or otherwise I can do it. It's entirely up to you. If you want to do any intricate detail work around the outside, this should be the best time to do it. You know, if you want it to look real fancy and all that.
Got an idea for that.
Fair
I guess
enough. Yeah, before I set the rest of the prongs and I get everything else working in, you see like each of the different sections, there's going to be a bunch of basically pockets in which these different sections will set into different liquids within like different pocket liquids within the handle. So he's basically got like these little rivets that are set and drilled in to the cavities. And there'll be like little narrow passageways, little like pumps of oil that will go through it. And so he's like, before I set any of the rest of these in, this is the time to do the rest of your detail work. So I've got that set for you, the base ready to go. I've got the rivets in the hollow board. So before hollowing any details, so I at least know what the boundary is for how much we can hollow. I don't want to hollow all the way, and then you go try to do your detail work, and all of a sudden we got a hole straight through the bone.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great, but I'll work on that and see if I can get us better metals.
Alright, cool. Well, I'll finish working on whatever I've got here. I'll get the rest of the molds set. So I'll do the regular mold work with just normal iron, and I'll get it back to you before we can set the rest. So go ahead and give yourself 10% progress for the work that you have done on the actual product. All right. So, Oren, did you make a roll for your work today? Or is there anything specific that you are working on today other than finishing your board? Because I think you're at the point where you're going to finish your board no matter what you do today, pretty much.
Yeah, I only have 6% left.
Yeah, so you could. That's legitimately just fine tuning the last bits, getting any last detail work in. Now that you've got that last thing that you accidentally kind of quasi broke fixed, the only thing left is just to finalize the details and then do test runs. So you could do that pretty much with your morning if you and Caldwell are working straight through. Otherwise, is there anything else that you would like to do instead or in addition to include in some roles today, or you just want to finish that and then move on to the next thing?
As far as
I should just
crafting
ask,
goes,
like, how do you want to spend your morning? Right, I guess.
So I was gonna finish the board, and then I was gonna go research, like.
All right, so go ahead and give me your roll just to
dispelling
finish the
and
board.
stuff.
Go ahead and give me your. In this situation, I'm gonna actually have you go Dex with your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
For the fine detail work and just getting the last pieces in. It's more like fine-tuned manual labor than it is intelligence at this point. You know what you're doing.
So 22.
22. Yeah, so you're able to finish the board, and it's about like 11 o'clock in the morning by the time you finish setting the final details. Caldwell like backs out his brow. You see he's sweating as he works over it. He's got like a little tiny soldering torch going on, and he's like, one of these days I gotta get me one of those little hand things you got where you just go zap zap with your fingers. You gotta get me one of those one day, because man, these things are hot. Whew. He's like,
It is pretty handy.
And he looks at the board and he looks up at you. He's like, holy shit, are you done? Because I'm done. Are you done?
I think we're done. With time to spare.
Holy shit. I'm gonna do just a few little tests on balance control, make sure that the relative locking mechanism is working. And then, what do you say, mid-afternoon, we take it on a ride up on... I mean, where do you want to do a full test? Because we can't really do it here on the nascency halls. It's too tight. Also, I don't really want anybody to see what we're working on. So we got to find a good place where it's open and we can move. I mean, we could request with our headmaster and see if he can provide a space for us so we can try it out. But it could take a day or two before we get a completely private zone. So anywhere you can think about it, let me know. Or we could just leave Selindor, go out into the plains outside.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hell, in theory, we could just go straight over the side of the bridge.
What if we just went like really high in the sky out of view or something?
I mean, in theory, it'd take a lot of torque and a lot of energy to push us up. You know, super high.
I could just fly up with it and then use it when I'm up there.
I'll say it's not exactly my forte to fly up super high, and I'll be a bit disappointed not to see the first test flight. But whatever you think works. He looks a little downtrodden. He's like, not exactly good at.
It was just an idea. I don't know.
No, yeah, but we could also leave it to tomorrow if you want to. But I'm kind of anxious.
You could ask Seti to polymorph and fly him up there.
How about
or Rapsy or anyone else?
Yeah, ask me. I'll do it.
While you contemplate that,
I'll just invite him to lunch.
It's like,
and
fair enough.
We'll figure it out. Maybe my friends can help.
I've got a wide enough mouth on my bag of holding, so I can bring it with me. I'll see you there. Noontime or 1, 2?
Round 1 in the common area there.
You see, he pulls out his seal and he just twists it a few times. He says, "All right, I'll see you there."
All right.
So with that set, you can begin progress on your other stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to go research like dispelling magics, things that unlock stuff.
This is some good old-fashioned investigation work,
and also like magic removal or enchantment removal. Or
go ahead and if you're enchantment removal on top of
any of that stuff.
Okay, so go ahead and make me 2 separate, because I think 2 of those could be clumped together. But the last one, go ahead and make the investigation check.
All right, these are probably gonna be terrible. Yep, there's an 11.
Is just in frame.
11 for the first. So they're both investigations.
Yeah, they're both investigations as you're just trying to find the proper tomes and parse through information.
So 11 was the first and 22 for the second.
22 for removing enchantments. You do find pretty quickly that there are a lot of ways to remove enchantments. One of them is that there is in fact and because you are familiar with it because you've worked with it before, but there is telltale of a specific room within Selindor Academy that has a myriad of different functions, one of which is disenchanting items that are incredibly potent, in fact, in an arcane power, and would otherwise be difficult to even use dispel magic to get rid of their full-on enchantments, even at the highest levels. But this room, that you know to be the apperception chamber, has a lens combination that is used specifically to eradicate the magic from an item without eradicating the object that it is attached to.
Okay. So I'm basically looking for how to incorporate this kind of stuff into like a set of thieves' tools.
Okay. So looking into that may require more work, but the lens materials used to create this and the light generation is listed specifically as to what is used there. But it leads you to believe that the only way you would find that specific information is talking to one who is either involved in the creation of such a room or somebody that is just more knowledgeable than you as to tempered glasses that are maybe made of materials that are not normally used to create glass. So perhaps an actual glassmith of some kind might know more. And also otherwise somebody who was involved in the creation of the apperception chamber.
Does it mention anyone in the book of who might have created the room? Or
That information is not available.
no?
Redacted.
But you can make a insight check if you would like.
I mean, it's Primus, right?
Sure.
Primus was certainly involved, if not solely responsible for the invention of the apperception chamber.
I cannot roll good today. That's an 11.
Yeah. So the only thing you can think of is just as Primus. That's
Okay.
like
Not exactly an easy guy to get hold of.
no. That's about the only other information that you can think of is ask somebody else who is very good at doing research to help you. The only two people you could think of who would reach that level of research capability would be obviously Mitnir. No, no, would be Cleary or oh god, why did I forget his name? Your other character,
Cinder.
Cinder is also well known for his ability to parse through large amounts of information for research.
Yeah, give him something to do.
So while you spend the rest of your time more or less going through all of these different tomes that sort of list different things, you come to a bit of a dead end before lunchtime. We'll move on to Bropsy. What are you doing with your morning?
I'm going to school.
All right. As you spend another day of schoolwork, go ahead and make your roll. You weren't here last week, so
I
didn't-
was
She
very
started
talented
here,
last week.
but she
I
did
know I
not
did
have
one
time. So I'm going to
roll.
have you do. Did you get percentage from yesterday for Monday, quote unquote, in the day? It was worth of school. 'Cause if you
I do
didn't,
not
then
know.
you're
I
gonna
will have
do-
to go back through the VOD to see.
Oh,
I
That'd
mean,
be a lot of
we could
work.
I
look
did
at the
not
roll
keep track
history.
of what days my
Yeah, you
rolls
can-
were from. I just kept track of each individual one.
you had 2 weeks total
Uh-huh.
before the competition, which means you started on Farron's Day. So it'd be
Uh-huh.
Farron's Day. Friday. I'm going to use the regular days of the week because it's easier.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it would have been 4 rolls
Oh, wait.
so far worth of progress. So if you have
How many
4,
Okay, I think I have 4. Yeah.
okay. So then
Yeah.
for today, go ahead and make your roll for your progress.
Okay, so I'll write down it's Tuesday.
It's been the longest 4 days ever.
Yeah.
And this is just intelligence
This is
plus
the day 5.
proficiency?
Intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds correct.
That
Actually,
is-
no. You would use wisdom if you're doing herbalism. If you're using alchemy, it's intelligence. If you're using poisoner's kit, it is intelligence. I wanna say
Probably
intelligence.
also intelligence, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think.
Okay,
Sounds
well,
right.
with intelligence, it was a 23. With a wisdom, that would have been
No,
a 26.
23 is good enough for you to get a full 12 hours.
Okay.
So you get 12 hours of learning from your.
Cool.
So you're so far on pace to complete this before
Yeah.
needed.
Thank goodness. I was going to be very sad if I just wasted my 2 weeks.
So, with that, Seti, as lunchtime rolls round, you get a buzzing on your seal.
Hello.
What is up, sis of mine?
Hi, bro. How's it going?
It's going so good. I've made like some really good strides in selling your diamonds and stuff. Like, dude, I've got you like so much gold off these. Some of those are like bigger than I thought they were, so I'm gonna give you 4,589 gold worth.
Wow, nice. And that was really fast too.
Yeah, it's pretty good how well I've been doing. I'm pretty proud of myself, to be honest with you. So do you want to meet up and I can give you your cash, or
Yeah, where would be a good spot? I can come to you.
well, I've got my usual haunt I'll go to. Go to the Mud Shack if you want to meet up there.
That would be fine. I could also bring you up here for lunch if you want to see the sights.
Oh, dude, bro, I never go topside. I could do it though. Like, I'm not afraid of nothing.
You want to
Just
meet my
like don't
friends?
make fun of me or anything, because when the light hits my I'm gonna call it skin, you know. It's I get like bright and shiny and shit, so don't like judge me for being a bright boy or
Oh
anything.
no, we love shiny people. One of my friends is very shiny.
Dude, sis, my whole crew is called the fucking shiny boys. We like legit go shiny all day.
No way. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we are shiny and we like shiny things. We're the shiny boys.
That's great. My group is called the Blue Man group because at one point we had 3 blue men, and now we just
Yeah,
have 2.
sis, you're not like remotely blue, and like I understand like your boyfriend guy that was with you is also blue.
Not, yes, also blue, but not my boyfriend. I mean, he's a boy and my friend, but not my boyfriend.
I don't know, sis. He was looking at you like he wanted to touch you in like all your lumpy spots.
Well, is that what people? They're like, they see a lump and they're like, I want to touch that.
I don't know, bro. I don't do that whole thing. That's not for me.
Me neither.
Oh,
we have
really?
so much in common.
Yeah, like
I'm not
I've
really
never
into
seen a
lumps.
lumps on a person and been like, gotta touch those knobbers.
No,
But
me
like, I know
neither.
other people get it, so
Yeah, you know, to each their own. Okay,
yeah, it's
well,
like, what's the deal? You know, like, what are you supposed to do with all that? Move it around, flop it and stuff.
yeah, it's a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had a
well-
lady walk up to me once and she was just like, bro, you look hard, want to get even harder? And I had no idea what she was talking about until later one of my shiny boys friends, Grok, he looked at me, he's like, bro, she wanted to touch your schlong.
yeah. A lot of that stuff went over my head too until I met my friends, and they explained.
And they
some
were
things
like
too.
overtly sexual.
Well, they were able to point out when other people were. But yeah, okay, I'm really excited. Do you know where the teleportation circle is down there? I can meet you there, or I can come get you.
Shit. Yeah, you know, like it's not cheap to go through the teleportation circle. I could
Oh.
probably get in there with my sneaky feet.
I mean,
and
if you
nobody's gonna catch me.
If you want to sneak, you can. But if I come meet you, then I'm sure I can get you through.
Yeah, so like south side portals work for me. Or I could go through the east side portals. You know, either one of them is totally fine.
All right. Well, which one did I go to last time?
East side portals. Well, the east side portals. Those are
Okay.
closer to the.
I've been to the east side before, so I'll meet you there, and then I'll get you through, and we'll come back this way for lunch.
Sweet. All right, cool. Well, I'll see you at lunchtime, sis.
All right. See you soon.
Should I bring a bib? What do you people eat up there?
You know what? There's a little bit of
I'll
everything.
bring 2 types of bibs. We'll be fine.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
All right. So as you guys finalize your lunch plans, I believe, Graham, you were talking about speaking to some plants. So as you cast Speak with Plants,
Sorry, the dog's being the dog.
who would you like to talk to? When I say who, I mean which spore cluster, colony, or infected creature would you like to speak to or attempt to speak to?
I want to talk to. Sorry, I gotta get her out. I want to talk to the blue one
So the blue one.
on the goat.
Yeah. All right. So as soon as you approach this thing, and the goat's going.
Yeah, no, I want to talk to. I mean, I want to talk to all of them. It's a 10-minute long spell, but it's gonna be like, hey, how's it going? And they can talk back.
It comes back garbled, and you can only kind of get like make an insight check on what I just said.
Okay. It's a 25, natural 20.
Oh, nice. I said, I want to eat that guy.
We're talking about. We're talking about Brogy.
These Brogy's on the other side of the room. It's going, "Oh!" And Brogy's just like, oh, look at the mushroom. He's like sitting there just tending to a mushroom cluster on the other side of the room. He's like, you got grown so big.
Yeah, he's kind of bite sized. I mean, no, I can't feed you, Brogy. I mean, I've been giving you goats though. You like this goat?
So from your seeming understanding is that I am goat, I am me, I am all things, I am the
Right.
goat.
So how do you feel about the idea of like, how do I put this? Like eating a goat and then having a goat, like giving birth to a goat.
It doesn't seem to compute what birth is.
Okay, so you know how when like you finish eating a thing, that thing dies. What if after you eat it, it can come back and then you can eat another thing?
You see the
And
goat's body begins to flail up and goes, I am alive!
Yeah.
And you see
So
like
I'm
just
talking.
4 tentacles start flailing everywhere.
That's like a almost like for you, you know, it's an infinite food hack, you know. For us, it's like we get to not die. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a buddy buddy kind of thing.
Its head tilts so far to the side that it almost goes completely upside down.
You get to keep eating, we get to keep living, and you get to keep living too, because I don't think funguses typically live forever anyway, you know? I know you do. That's why I'm giving you goats to eat. So, you know, if I give you, well, it might be too late for this goat, I don't know. But I'm trying to create a spell that will let me, you know, let you eat a goat or one of the other guys if you can't do it, you know. It's okay if you can't. And then, you know, when the goat dies, it will come back out of you. What do you say?
It sits there, it gurgles a bit, it burps, and then it says, okay.
Okay, cool. Great. And I'll kind of like ask the other mushrooms kind of like similar questions, like the regular old biting blood cap and
Yes, you try speaking to the other biting blood cap, and it's just going.
Yeah.
Same.
What's up? I'm Charlie.
He said he's Charlie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out which one of you would be best for
Me.
eating somebody and
I'm the best
coming
one.
back. Well, I don't know. The blue guy said he could do it, and his guy's not dead. Your guy's dead.
That guy's a poser. I'm the coolest. Me, Charlie. I'm the coolest guy. The coolest
Speaking of-
fungi. I'm a fungi. I'm the coolest fungi.
You're so fun. You're a very fun guy.
I eat blood. I like blood.
Yeah, no, blood's fine. I'm saying
You look
real
tasty.
I'm very tasty. Yes, all the other mushrooms think so. My question is, how do you feel about eating the thing, but not killing it, and it coming back so that you can keep eating it, but without hurting it?
I like hurting things.
Yeah, but you know how like when you run out of food, you die after that?
Yeah.
What if you became like a magical mushroom that it didn't die?
Oh, I'm magic. I can pull a rabbit out of my ass.
No, you can't.
I did it once. You don't know.
You could eat a rabbit though, and then a rabbit could come out of your cap. Yeah.
My ass. I have one.
Job. I'll go talk to the. You know, it's going to be a bad decision, but I'll go talk to the what do you call it? Devouring death cap, or is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Devouring. I believe it is devouring black cap. Is what it's called.
Yeah. Okay, same question. Do you want to? No. How do you feel about the things you eat not dying, and you get to keep eating them?
Doesn't seem to respond to you in any notable way.
Yeah, you just want to kill things, don't you? You little monster.
You just see this little this black mushroom with like its weird sort of like necrotic veins, and it doesn't seem to react in any way. I mean, the other spores aren't really moving in any form of reaction. Rather than not coming garbled, you don't seem to be sensing any sort of response whatsoever.
Is he not? Is his thing's dead though, right?
Yeah, the thing that he is on is dead. It has not died yet. Like the mushroom still seems like it doesn't seem to have grown any larger from your spell. It doesn't seem to have shifted in any amount since the creature died.
Yeah, so he's just like doing his thing. Maybe I'll have to. Is it just well? Maybe I'll have to just cut you apart and see. I'll kind of see what's in there and how you work. If you're not going to talk to me.
Doesn't seem to be any form of response. You can make an intimidation check.
Yeah, which I would make, assuming.
Which is, I don't remember the last time I told somebody to make an intimidation check.
Maybe it's not intimidating. I rolled a 10. Grim's not saying it like in a mean way. He's mostly saying it in the like, look, I mean, like if I want this, if I need to, I can cut you open and.
There doesn't seem to be any sort of response or understanding from this mushroom.
Well, all right.
It seems like a completely inert mushroom.
Seems like Blue Boy and Red Boy are probably the best. This guy just likes to kill things.
It's hard to say.
It just eats it. But he eats like its souls, right? Isn't that what you said? Like the goats just
from your inference, it seemed like one of these things. The red one seems to drain the blood and eat flesh and blood, and sort of like mangle it and infect throughout the whole body. And the veins of it pour through, and the red one kills the creature that it's in. The blue one seems to have completely parasitized and mutated the creature that it has taken the form of,
like a zombie fungus.
Based on the information, because you're wise enough to figure this out, you imagine that if you were somehow able to cast Speak with Animals and Speak with Plants at the same time, you would be able to perfectly understand the goat creature.
Because he's both right now.
In the sense of what it is both plant and animal in equal parts.
No, I probably could actually.
And then with the other one, with the black cat mushroom, you are aware that one doesn't eat or change the body in any way. It kills the creature by devouring its soul. It is its energy, its essence, everything that is within it. It will die because that spark that keeps the body remains intact, but in a sense that whatever spark keeps the body lets the brain tell the heart and body to keep beating and breathing is no longer there.
See, I want both of those things because I don't. If Grim, if I put myself into the mushroom and then it just eats my body, that's no good to me. If I don't come back as me, so I can. I still think I gotta crossbreed these things.
Speaking of which, with your past perception, you have seen that there's a tiny purple-looking, like dark purple thing growing out of your bloody mud pile.
Oh,
just slightly.
Is that where I
very small?
But talk to the little baby. Just like, hello, little guy. How are you?
No response.
It's not. Well,
whatever this thing is, it's either too early in its growth stage to communicate back to you, or it is much like the black cap, incapable of understanding or responding in some.
Yeah, so we'll wait for that one to grow a little bit, I think, and then we'll transfer it to a goat. But it'll probably be maybe a day or a couple days.
And so these are like all you can see is like the tiniest little black, purplish black little teeny little wisp with a little bit of a cap, sort of like
Yeah,
pushing out
they're
of the mud.
babies. Yeah,
Little
baby
itty bitty
mushrooms.
tiny things. Yeah. So with that, as you finish your conversation with your mushrooms and everybody else gets prepared for lunch, we will go ahead and take our break and come back for lunchtime, where it'll be appropriate when we're all eating food and RPing at the same time. Back in
BRB.
time. And we are returned from the darkness. So, as everyone's myriad of different lunch dates begins, we will take it away. So, Oren, you get a message on your seal from Caldwell, who says, yeah, so where are we meeting up?
What is it Logic's Landing area? That's where like the main
That's Logic
common
Landing
area.
is the area below Towers of Thought where the elevator system is. So there's like a bunch of tube elevators that go all over Selindor from there, and it is where the banquet hall is. So
Yeah.
and teleportation circles.
Yeah. So we meet at Logic's Landing.
Cool.
We'll find somewhere.
Yeah, I'll meet you around the statue.
Okay.
Statues, the fountain.
Yep.
So as he meets you there, you get there a little bit before he does, and you have a moment to sort of just like look at all the different mascots basically that have been hewn into like these rocks, and they seem to almost move a little bit and sort of watch you as you're sitting there. Almost all of them have some sort of orifice which water's pouring out of to create this fountain. Some of them do not, but in general, it's still a functional fountain, but with all these different strange creatures just sort of looking at you from every direction, almost unnerving, some of them. The sort of mangle of different bodies just sort of like kind of like piled on top of you in just weird intricate ways, almost like they're battling. It's a weird statue. Every time you're around it, it feels weird. The weirdest of times is when you saw 12 Mitniers sitting around it in a circle with their backs to each other carving. That was the weirdest time. But even now with very few people around, except for those passing in and out of the banquet hall, it still gives you a weird feeling. You see Caldwell walking up in his day robes. He looks very, very vibrant coming down the way. His sort of blonde hair is sort of swept up to the side, and he does got like a little bit of like an undercut going on, which seems to be a thing that a lot of Celestials do, is like an undercut. You don't know why, but a lot of people in the High Realm Academy have like a weird undercut thing going on. As he walks up,
It's to let God in from the sides, though.
Sure. As he comes in with his he's got like this like very nice like crisscrossed like little section of like robes that make him look like really tight and formal. He says, right. So what's the plan? Oh, that's the wrong voice. What's the plan, Warren?
Well, I was probably gonna meet my friends here for lunch, and then
Great.
see if one of them could help us out with our.
I've got a bag right here, and you see Seti starts swinging by, and she's walking with an individual who, under the light of the sort of like artificial sun above Selindor Academy, you see like is like glimmering with different hues of like turquoise and sort of like this vibrant blue. You guys have seen Labradorite before, but on his sort of like brown sort of skin, like the way that the Labradorite shimmers across inside and underneath what would be his fleshy exterior, but instead it's just sort of like this hard, translucent, crystalline form. And you can see as he walks by, he's just like shimmering, and people are like looking at him. It's not very often that you see an Earth Genasi look this resplendent. And he goes from where you guys have maybe heard of him before, just digging in the dirt, to looking like kind of awesome, walking his way through with his like short crystalline spiky hair. And he's like, sis, this is some really nice digs you got up here. Like down in where I'm at, it's like the messiest of all places.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a different kind of life. And, it's not like all of this is mine or anything. This is just where I go to school. And, oh, look, I see my friends.
It's like, oh, shit, sis, I didn't know we were going to meet your friends. I would have done myself up differently.
No, you look fantastic.
Bro,
I can't wait for them.
Oh shit!
You're-
Oh. You see, he's walking and picking bits of rock out from between his toes
Look,
as he's walking.
here. I'll prestidigitate them away. It's fine.
He goes, "Oh shit, bro! Sis, I've got real clean feet. These goods. Wow!
Yeah, look, I've got your back.
I could probably eat my food with my feet now."
I mean, if you wanted to, you could also just eat them with your hands. I mean, I can prestidigitate your hands too if they're dirty.
Oh shoot, that's so cool. Do it. Make my fingers as tingling as my toes.
Ooh.
He goes, woo! So you see Seti and what is very clearly the brother that she has mentioned walking with her. Caldwell goes, "Oh hey, it's been a while. How's it going with you, Seti?"
Hi, good to see you. This is my brother Labra.
"Oh, well, nice to meet you. I already
Labra,
don't
this is
like you. No offense, but like your whole vibe is like way too clean for me. It's like, I mean, to each their own opinion, I suppose. It's like
Labra works on the mine. You know, from the
this guy looks like he's probably never gotten his hands dirty like one time. No offense, bro, but look at your fingers. Like mine just got prestidigitated, and yours are still cleaner.
Well, Caldwell is a tinkerer. He makes things. And this is my friend Oren. He also makes things. And he's maybe not as glowy as you are, but he's pretty glowy too.
It's a different kind of glow. His is the light reflecting off of him. Oren is actually creating more light, which is reflecting off of Labra, creating a sort of different kaleidoscopic effect from the two different light sources hitting him. And he's just like, "Oh, right. So you're Shani Bro. Like, I think you've talked about him before. The real Shani one that dies like all day."
Oh yeah, he died yesterday. Well, he
Dude, you died yesterday and you're still so good. Look at you, bro.
He was
you
unconscious.
You look super not dead right to me.
Yeah, it happens more often than I'd like.
Where's the dragon with head trauma?
He's probably around here somewhere. He doesn't miss out on food. In fact, he might already be in there eating without us.
Yeah, what are you doing at this moment?
Already in there eating.
Yeah, it's in the eating. So Minior just went back to eating. Brapsy, you are more than welcome to be on lunch break if you would like from your studies without it interrupting any of the stuff. If you would like to be at lunch.
Too.
All right,
It's
so
nice to finally meet you.
As you guys pour into the banquet hall, kind of a lot of noise is being made by your group, but it just melds straight into all the noise and the cacophony that is within this place. You've never seen it so packed. You're not sure what it is, but it feels like everybody has scheduled a lunch date in the whole fucking school in the banquet hall right now. So it's like literally walking into a cafeteria. There's so much noise. He's like, "Holy shit, sis, I've never seen this many people at one place at one time. How does this school even stay upright? I saw the tower before, it's big, but like, dang, that's so many folks."
Yeah, this apparently was a really busy hour. But this is where all the food is, so of course this is where everyone gathers.
The more the merrier, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's nice and
I like it when you can see people from all the schools just all hanging out at once. You see, like, it's very often you see people from Blackstaff anywhere other than in the halls of erudition. So like you look over, you see like a couple of like really like intensely studying like Ravenclaw types just like sitting there in blue robes, just like, "Oh, damn, I caught it." And it's just like sparks coming out of their fingers as they like twist and make arcane sigils in the air and then delete them and redraw them better.
Mitnir's mimicking them with like a bone.
Yeah, you see that there's like literally in the corner, you guys actually spot a vampire just like feasting on another individual, just literally in the corner. And he's like, sort of cleans it off a little bit of spit. You see like the wound starts to heal up. He said, "Thank you so much. You are a delicious babe." And he's like, "You won't forget this." Walk away.
Yeah, so we get the group together, and then Seti's like, "Grim's probably still working with his mushrooms, but maybe he'll show up. I don't know."
It's entirely up to Grim. Grim, if you want to be at the super packed lunch, you may absolutely be at the super packed lunch.
Yeah,
Nope,
that's
he is
the
messing
biggie.
with his mushrooms.
He's been really into his studies lately. He's the one I thought he's really tall, but he's like obsessed with mushrooms, which is fine. Everybody's
Oh yeah,
got their
man,
thing.
I like shrooms all the time, dude. There are some shrooms that grow down in the crystal undercity, like especially in the deep mines, like when I go really far, like further than I'm supposed to go ones. I find some really crazy mushrooms there that are like peak dangerous, bro.
I think Grim would be fascinated to hear about that, or maybe not.
Oh
so
yeah,
fast.
bro. Like so freaking dangerous. They could like you're just like dead if they get near you.
Like even just being in their proximity.
Oh,
Grim
probably 'cause
magically shows
they'll
up.
like grow up onto your body and they would like eat your brains or something. I don't know what they do.
He's literally talking about the ones that I have, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, I'll have to see if he knows anything about that. Maybe he could come
Well,
down.
Zania already told me. She was like, bro, like if you run into those, like don't touch them and like come get me. Like she's like full mom mode down there.
Yeah, is this one of the people you work with?
Oh yeah, you haven't met Zania? Oh shit, bro! I thought she was at our lunch. She usually comes to lunch at the Mud Shack. Oh dang,
Next time I'll meet your friends.
yeah, man, she's like would totally fit in. She's totally blue.
Yeah, there's usually more blue people, but right now it's just me.
Yeah, it's weird how your group's got like blue person, blue person, blue person, Orin,
Yeah.
and Bropsy. I mean, actually, it's really not
I
that.
can look
It's like
blue.
half.
Some of us are blue at heart, but not in skin.
Yeah, I'm sad sometimes too. It's like,
Well,
what do you have to be sad about? Having too much money or something?
well, not today.
It's like, I don't understand what impression you're getting off of me, but I'm really not rich. I just go to a really nice school because I'm skilled. This is sure. I'm sure I'm skilled enough to get to this school too. Walk around, and be like, "Hey, bro, you're gonna take a class on digging. Maybe I'll be the teacher now." Like, dog, I could dig a hole around you. I could dig circles around you, bro.
I'm sure you
kinda
have a
looks
lot
at
of
the
really
floor.
good skills. Labra, actually, speaking of your skills, I wanted to ask, maybe I should have done this before we got to lunch, but if
Oh
I could-
shit! Right. Also, and he plops like 4,600 gold down on the table. It's like the bag
Thank
spills
you.
out.
Said he swoops it into her bag of holding immediately.
It's like, yeah, guys, you were real good at finding like good top class diamonds. Not sure where you picked those, but those were like no flaws in a single one of those diamonds. Those
Yeah,
were like primo.
Those were
Like we
actually
get one of those get immediately taken like away from us, and we get paid on the spot by like the big wigs of the Crystal Undercity. I don't know where they go, but I imagine like some big rich person somewhere just has like a pile of them.
Well, maybe they go to Lord Rock's personal stash, which is where we got those from. They were
Lord
gifts,
Rock
like
is
it
like
was a
the
trade.
most pretentious name I've ever heard. Like,
Well-
I don't know who that guy is, but he's probably also some rich guy with lots of rocks.
He does
Makes
have
sense,
lots
Got a
of
right?
sand
rocks,
garden.
Yeah. And
Doesn't
the weird
he-
little dragon friend.
He literally runs the Crystal Undercity.
Oh, dude, is he like the king or something?
Basically.
Oh, dude, like I think I've seen him before.
Yeah, I'll make a little illusion of what he looks like on the table.
Oh yeah, I've seen him with Zanya, bro. He came to the Mud Shack last week.
Well, next time you should tell
His
him you're my
name's Lord
sister.
Rock.
Yeah.
I thought it was. And then he starts to talk, and you like hear like a bit of buzzing in your head. He's like, "Oh, shit! Sorry, I'm not supposed to say those names. Like, it's total secrecy, man."
Oh, that's okay. We have a couple of those too. We know how that goes.
Yeah.
And the Lord Rock's secret is safe with us. We're friendly. But yeah, next time you see him, tell him I'm your sister.
So you, bro, like midnight,
Midnight sticks his head up over the table.
Oh shit! You've got a little baby, bro.
That's midnight. This one is Midnear.
Oh, right. So, midnight. So there's like this guy, not guy, girl, person, friend of mine, Zanya, who's like you, but like mixed with me. She like rock blue dragon, bro.
Huh? So she's shiny like you.
Yeah, she's like hard and made out of the good stuff, like I am, but like totally shaped like you, bro, and same color.
He's like a blue gem dragon.
Is
Yeah,
that
She
possible?
sounds pretty.
That's really
like
cool.
you guys know that you've run into Orn Luki looks like he's made out of like emeralds.
Yeah.
Like, so you assume that she is also similar to Orn Luki.
But he was small.
Orn Luki wasn't small. He's dragonborn size, he's floating everywhere.
I mean, I guess we're all similar in size once we, grow up to a certain extent.
Yeah, man. Like I think like you like sharp like lizard boys like get like super like tall and stuff. I'm always dwarfed by you guys when you're standing next to me. I'm like normal person height.
Maybe he kind of goes, huh? Like, what do you mean
How
normal?
tall is he?
Labra?
Mm-hmm.
Labra's like somewhere around like 5'8", 5'9".
He's the same height as Seti. I wanted to ask, actually, if I could get some pointers from you. There was a contest here at the school yesterday, and I really, really botched disarming traps. Like, real bad.
Oh, sis, you were such a noob.
I know. I thought I was better at this thing, but there was a
I
lot
did
of
it.
pressure.
I disarmed it.
Well,
You disarmed it? Look, you got disarmed by brain damage, boy.
he smashed it and killed Orin.
Oh, dude. And he gives you a high five. It's like hand straight up and immediately it's flying at you. Yeah, just smack. It's like a huge clacking sound as rock hits scale.
Anyway,
But it worked.
It did work and everybody was
Dude,
fine.
I have broken so many traps just by like hitting them because most of the time they're supposed to just trigger really easy. So you just throw rocks at them and they go boom. So like totally viable. But if you're trying to like crack one of those, you just need the snaky fingers.
Yeah, I guess I was wondering if you had any pointers or maybe any insight into like magic.
Well, I'd have to see the
aids or
trap,
tools.
because there's like pressure plate types, there's like the arcane magical types, and those are like tricky and stuff if you don't know what you're doing. And then they've got like the tripwire types and the ones that have like
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to come up against. So I'd like to get better at all of them, really. And maybe in your time you have encountered things that I haven't yet, or you have better ways of handling them than I have developed on my own. I would love to pick your brain if you are amenable
I'm
to...
just like super good at doing it. Like, not to mention the fact that like assuming that it's made out of a material that like I'm real good at, I'll just like check this out, sis. And you see he takes his hand and he goes straight into the ground with it. And he watches his hand just like all the way up to the elbow, straight into the ground. He's like, super easy, bro. And you see he dips his whole like shoulder down to his shoulder in it, and you see his hand comes up the other side. The rock looks completely undisturbed. He's like, it's like super easy. And then he just pulls it straight back out.
Trick. Is that... So like if somebody has like a stone wall in their house, you can just reach into
yeah,
the room
straight through that, bro.
Ooh, that's really cool.
It works really good for the shiny boys. I'm like super... I mean, we don't do anything like sketchy or illegal.
No, but like if your friend gets stuck in the other room, they lock the door on themselves. You can just reach right
Yeah,
through
I
and
could
unlock the
totally
door.
get my bro right out of there if he gets trapped and stuff.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Well, we should hang out more so I can stop you from getting trapped in rooms.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was going to ask if Oren could maybe make me some kind of magical implement that would be better at disarming traps than the implements I have right now. But I just wonder.
Well, there's lots of ways to approach that depending on how you want to do it. I mean, like there could be some that as they take to your hand, they just straight up enhance your ability to work on that. Give you at least a little bit of advantage on what you're working on.
Yeah, like I've already got some
give you an
gloves
edge.
that's helped me with lockpicks, but I need something to help with disarming. But if we could make my gloves do that as well, or something.
I mean, you probably want to focus on tools that are more tightly enchanted to guide or become more almost like polydactyl tools that'll allow you to move with them psionically, or and there's lots of different ways to approach it. What's your thoughts on this, Orin? I mean, we could probably knock that out in a day if we tried hard enough.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I was trying to research things today. I was actually looking at the lenses in the room of requirement that disenchants.
Requirement.
Oh,
Harry Potter.
wrong game.
Yeah. Like, oh, there's a room that has everything you require. Dope.
Yeah, man,
Well, let's
just
just go
magically
there,
shows
then.
up.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna take everything.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. It's like, I'm not sure. I haven't actually been. I've only heard of the apperception chamber. You've been there.
Yep.
We kind of
Like,
broke it.
damn. You
I've-
broke the apperception chamber. Shit.
I've done some testing with the lenses in there before.
You guys are way above my pay grade. I've tried to get into places like that, finagle around. I heard the mechanical workings of that system are invented by Primus himself. And you see how this school works. It's the same technology, just it's basically sentient machine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Wild place, to be honest. Not very good memories down there.
But yeah, so I'm either gonna see if I can talk to Primus or maybe talk to some glassmiths. See what they know.
Oh yeah, man, glass is super dope. It's like rocks, but like all melted into one.
Well, whatever you think you could make fastest and most easily would be helpful, because, I mean, I'm not going to assume I made the team because I did really badly, actually. But if I do, I want to be ready. And obviously, this whole thing starts soon. There
Oh,
was
we got
something
over a
else.
week.
How's all of your stuff going?
My
I
stuff?
need better metal.
Better metal? What kind of better metal?
He said orichalcum would work.
Mm.
Oh, bro, I got orichalcum. How much you need?
Like 5 pound, 10 pounds.
10 pounds of orichalcum? Holy shit, bro! That's fine. Actually, I probably got that on me here. And he pulls into like a little side satchel, and he's like pulls out a couple of different like raw rocks, and he pulls out this like sort of like greenish hued like sort of metallic ore that's like really rough and raw. It's like, so that's some more calcum there. And he like just pulls some more out, and he's like pulls out of another pocket and pulls out like this nice shiny almost quicksilver looking like there's some mithril, and he's just pulling out a couple other things like that. The mantium. We have this one here. Oh, look, we've got lore stone. Lore stone's real good, guys. Little tiny
What's that
piece
for?
of it. Dude, I don't know. I just know that people pay a lot of money for this one. It's real shiny, and it's like almost a white metal. Like, it is so pristine. It doesn't look silver anymore. It's like white.
Huh. That's very cool looking.
Yeah. Almost like a pearl.
I'll buy that and the orichalcum from you.
Oh, bro, you could probably, like, if I take the bag back, you can have the orichalcum. Like, it's pretty expensive if you want all, like, 10 pounds of orichalcum is like, G3. Bro, I'm not good at math. Give me a minute.
All right.
Probably 2,000 gold, friends and family discount for 10 pounds of orichalcum.
Do you have that, Minion?
You said 2,000 gold?
2,000 gold for 10 pounds of orichalcum.
What about the lore stone? Include the lore stone? Huh?
Bro, this is my only piece of lore stone.
He said that's really expensive.
It's so expensive, bro. Like,
Just like your attempts like puppy dog
wouldn't even,
eyes.
like, I wouldn't even like sell this, man. Like, if you have like a good trade, maybe. But look at that shiny. Look how pretty it is. It's like you can see like light in his eyes as he's looking at it. It's so shiny. I was thinking about maybe just making a necklace that just holds it and I just wear it forever. I want to be buried with lore stone, bro.
That's fair. I think Minion just wants it because it's pretty too.
Maybe just kind of like side eyes. You're like, shh, don't tell him.
It's also weird they call it lore stone. I think it's because the lore ore was too hard to say and it sounded stupid, so they called it lore stone, even though it's totally metal, bro.
Fair enough.
I've
You look
actually
at or
heard
like,
of
is
lore
or-
stone. It's very good enchanting material.
is that a good price? Like, I'm not saying no or anything. It just I want to make sure. I don't know anything about buying metal.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, well, it's more to you two because you're the ones who've been working with all sorts of metals.
Make it intelligence check, or
14.
I mean, yeah. So 200 gold per pound sounds pretty reasonable, considering that a pound of orichalcum could probably be used to make like a dagger, like a orichalcum dagger, which is
Well, I know
really
orichalcum costs more than mithril. I know that much. Mithril isn't necessarily cheap, so yeah, it's probably a good price.
I'm actually gonna now look up how much a pound of orichalcum would cost.
But okay, Mitnir will like reach kind of like down into like his like pants shorts thing, you know, where he's hiding his money, and just onto the table goes 200 platinum.
He just like slips it, and he's like, "Totally awesome, bro. Totally fair." And he like just gives you the money, or gives you the orichalcum, 10 pounds. Give me value. Here we go.
Heard of lore stone.
For instance, orichalcum, 200 gold, please, times. There's whole kinds of things. So, like, for instance, the gold plate, like, you can make, that's enough metal to make a full plate orichalcum, right? Like, you could make a full plate mail out of orichalcum, which has a base price of 28,200 gold.
For the full plate mail.
Yes, so this is the work that has to go into it, right?
Yeah.
But when you just go into, hold up, no, hold up. Sorry,
I mean,
that's entirely wrong. I just looked at the weight in pounds for a full plate. Never mind, that's way off. Weight in pounds. So you can make it's a good price. So like 5,000 gold would be appropriate price. So he gave you more than a 50% discount.
And he just like slips it into other pockets over here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that made my okay. I didn't have to go shopping. This is great.
Yeah, man, I got some platinum, so like I can totally go tell the shiny boys I made money at lunch. Dope.
That's an excellent lunch. Oren, did you need any gemstones or any advice on what to maybe level up?
Oh yeah, I'm the
ideas?
rocks, bro. You got gemstone questions? I mine in the gemstone mines. I have gemstones on me right now.
do you have any celestial gemstones?
Like sunstone is what Cleary mentioned.
Oh,
Sure.
bro, I don't. I've never seen a sunstone.
I was going to say
before.
sunstone might not be down in the mines. That sounds more
No,
like
that
a
would be
above
like-
ground kind of
Yeah.
thing.
If that was in the crystal mines and it does what it sounds like it would do, like we would be blind, bro.
How about fiery kind of stones?
I have a few stones that are totally fiery. Check out this ruby. And he places it down on the table, and it's like a fucking like big ruby. It's not cut, it's raw, right? But it's like sharp. It's got like a little bit of almost like an internal glow.
Is it a fire ruby?
It's about the size of his fist. And he's like, "Yeah, bro, fire ruby. Probably. I don't know. Selindor is weird with the way things grow here. Like sometimes the crystals, like it was hot when I was digging there. So maybe so. You have to cut it down to find out for sure, like reveal like the inner workings. But I think it's fire ruby. If it's not fire ruby, then it's like full on hellfire ruby, which could be like super valuable but super dark, dog.
I also looked through my notes today in class, and the astral projection spell uses Jason. If you wanted to do astral projection as your
Uses what?
Jason.
See, this is the thing. I don't know what spells require, so I just make them up as I go along. So I don't know what that is personally.
Oh, that's for casting the spell astral projection. Yes.
It's just
But
some
Right.
dude named Jason. That's all.
I don't do spells. I do what the spell can do. Basically, I build it
Right.
into an item.
Right. Well, I thought
So I don't
maybe
necessarily need the spell component that it would require.
All right. Well, I thought maybe having the component would help evoke the spirit of the spell better.
I mean, it definitely does, depending on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to do like an enchanted item that does that specific spell, then certainly, like using the materials that are typically used, is a good idea. The only issue is that a lot of those are consumed when the spell is used. So if it's like something that the spell would naturally consume, it becomes unstable. So you really usually need to find something with a tighter form. Molecular structure, so that it doesn't break down.
Well, what I'm thinking, it might incorporate a little of how astral projection would work, but it's not fully on astral projection. So I'm
Alright.
still gathering data.
That's fair. How's your work going, by the way?
Oh, actually, we're done. We just have to do some testing.
Fun. When are you going to do that?
Ooh.
We're thinking after lunch.
Can we all come?
Depends. We kind of need to do it out of sight. So I was thinking maybe really high up in the sky. So if you can fly, and if someone can help Caldwell up.
Well, you guys have
Then
fun
yeah.
with that. Labra don't fly, bro.
Well, what if is there a place
Have you
in Hyacinth's
the
Manor
sky?
that would be big enough?
It's not really my thing, bird friend. Like, you could try lifting me or something, but probably your bird will not have good times doing it.
Well, I can change my shape so I can be big, strong flying things. I can also be like you.
Yo, Mitt bro, try to lift me and tell her how heavy I am.
Okay. Mitnir walks around behind, just under his arms, like,
He just goes, deadlift me, bro! Puts his hands out, and you grab him and you pick him up. Make a strength check. I guess more importantly, what is your normal lift? Like, there's probably a thing that says how much you can lift.
Yeah, Karen,
my normal.
Well, there's one that's just like lift weight.
Let's
There's,
see. I can push, drag, or lift 810 pounds, and I use my sword ability on the check, so I rolled a 19 for a 27.
27?
You're a
Yeah.
wimp.
So you pick him up, but he's nearing, like, you would guess based on like the fact that you could lift about 800 pounds comfortably, that he's probably somewhere around like 600 or 700 pounds.
Just like
Yeah.
back down. Either your normal weight and everyone else I pick up is really, really light, or you're really,
That's the
really
way I
heavy.
look at it. It's normal weight for me. I'm not even fat, bro.
All right. Well,
Which is a weird thing to say because I don't have fat. It's not a thing I grow on my body.
look, would someplace in Hyacinth's Manor be big enough to test this thing? I mean, do you really need to be like flying all over the place, or just like, because that would be a secret place.
Oh, dude, you want secret place where you can just fly forever?
Is there like
There's a
cabin
place,
in the
swamp side, super secret cave with empty, crazy crystal labyrinth. You can fly forever. You get lost, probably.
I do have people I need to talk to in the other city.
We need a large open space because yes, flying will be involved.
What about the where the crystal dragon was, the fairy dragon? Hyacinth's Garden?
Hyacinth? Oh.
Oh, yeah, the Twilight Grove. Yeah, sure. You could totally ask What's his fuck?
The dragon.
Love that. What's his fuck?
What's his name?
No, what's his fuck?
What's his fuck?
Weren't there other people and stuff in there though?
Namely, it was him who spent his time there, but other people's fractures were there. It's a garden that's full of fractures of Fae.
Yeah, like I don't think anything there would blab or really care what we were up to. Especially if Hyacinth was like, hey, don't blab or care what they're up to.
I mean, is she honestly going to let us
Oh,
in
I
there?
knew it was Axis
I
something.
can ask.
Caraxis. It's Caraxis.
Caraxis. I'm going to send a message to Hyacinth.
Okay.
Can we use Caraxis Garden to test a thing for the competition? We need open space and privacy.
Did you know that we have seals? Seals can call people, and you can talk all you really want.
Is that all she said?
Yeah.
Fuck you! This was faster. I take out my seal and I call her.
You're muted. That's why I'm going. How's that faster? That's so great.
I call her after taking out my seal.
It's like, oh, hello. How are you, Satamara?
It was a yes or no question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't quite catch it, dear. What was your question?
Can we use Caraxis' garden as a place to
Wow,
test
that was
the
so
thing?
convenient. What an easy conversation we just had. Yes, of
Point
course you
made.
can, my dear. As long as you don't disturb flowers, I will go and speak with Caraxis.
All right, would you like to meet our brother?
We are sisters in the sense that we are sourced from the same being.
Yes.
Your brother is, in the same sense, we're not really.
You're saying
No.
he's not
No,
powerful
thank you.
enough.
And she hangs up.
All right, well, she didn't tell me how to get into the garden.
It's like,
But I
whoa.
assume we can go to her house.
Dude, my other sis is a real bitch, bro.
Yeah, she's like, not our sister in the physical sense, but more in the spiritual sense.
I've had a soul sister before, and her name is Zanya. So she's
Yeah.
totally not bitchy like your other sister.
Oh no,
is.
Hyacinth's a piece of work, but she is connected as fuck. So, do you want to come with us and test out a flying machine and see a fairy garden, I guess?
I mean, I don't really have anything going on, but like this is a lot of traveling for me for like a normal day.
Sure.
Like I'll do it, sure, but like as long as it's not like gonna eat too much more of my time, because like totally got to still make well, I did make a lot of money.
You
Never
just made
mind,
200
I'm totally
platinum.
good, bro.
All right. I mean, we can go back. There's a teleportation circle at her house too, so we can send you back to home anytime.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Totally, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, right then. As long as nobody else has anything else they need to do.
I will leave Graham a message on his seal.
So you get a ring on your seal, which you can or cannot answer. Up to you, Grim.
I mean, I'll listen to it, I guess.
But are you actively answering when the message, like when the seal comes through? Or are you just gonna wait for her to?
I thought she said she was. Wait, we can't send messages.
Just there's no text feature. There's no leave a message after the tone. You either answer it or you don't.
I'm calling your seal.
Like, absently mindedly, like pressing, like, hey, what? What do you want?
And you hear.
Oh God! Just letting you know we're going to Hyacinth's house. If you wanted any of us, that's where we'll be.
I'm gonna just like show her the goat. Be like, I'm busy.
I see that. Good luck.
This goat that's just like whirring, and then you can see like blue light shooting out of its eyes. And it's like projectile vomiting blue goo.
I hang up immediately. Well, I don't think I'll bother updating him on our activities anymore. I think he's good. That's going to stay with me for a while. That mental image. All right.
Like after like that the seal came up and the people around you were just kind of like just like staring at you guys like, oh. Oh, that's some crazy
Look,
shit.
we've got some weird friends, okay? Don't judge. Your friends are weird too. All right, let's go to Hyacinth.
All right, so you guys immediately just run out, and as you're walking by, go ahead and make me a perception check, Seti.
Hell yeah, I'm still keeping my eyes peeled. I'm still doing shit. Ooh, 22.
22. With your 22, you get a feeling, but you don't see them. You get the feeling you're being watched. And you get a prickle kind of up your spine. A sensation.
I bet it's that guy. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be like, we should all act natural, go about our business.
All right, so you get to your teleportation portal.
I'm always acting natural. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you
And
mean?
you find yourself stepping through and popping up, as it is easy enough for you guys to do nowadays. You don't even pay anymore because you're aspirants. As you pop up in the not Twilight Town, but the Lunaris district. And you actually, probably for this one, you're going to arrive more or less in the center of town for the first time, actually arriving in the heart of Lunaris district, because that's the closest teleportation circle that you can take to then go to the Twilight Grove. Ooh, where's my layout thing for this? I have art.
Oh my god.
It's true. He did have art for this one, huh?
Not for you guys, but for me, so I can just look at it.
Well, you did have a map when you bought
I have a
Food
map.
Access.
It's not really.
I was gonna say, if he's looking through his
Oh,
notebook,
you
that's
mean
not for us.
a map of Lunaris district?
A map of Lunaris district, yeah.
I thought you meant, because I was gonna say we had a battle in the
Yeah.
Grove, so you
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
had a-
I do have visuals.
and I think you drew that one.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I don't have my old notebook.
It's okay. We're going straight to the.
No, but it's important to me because I wanted to know, because this is your first time actually going here, okay? Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, and the last time you used Grimm's GPS on his seal.
Yeah, I don't. Man, I had an old folder of stuff, and I don't know what you did with all my other stuff. So
Should be in the folder.
one more check.
It's okay. I blame my wife too when things go missing.
I mean, there's only one folder, so I don't
But
know.
at the same time, if I ever need to find something,
Yes, but there are
She's the one who
piles of
finds it,
papers
Yeah.
that were in my closet. Anyways, so you guys arrived there pretty much at the center of Lunaris district, and you look around, and you can tell that it's like the buildings are just sort of hewn out of trees, and it is this sort of dark forest. You've been to this district before, and you know the grass is kind of a little bit on the greenish or on the bluish side as opposed to green. And there are no streets per se, but you do see that there's the paths have been sort of like the grass has sort of worked its way off and created a sort of rocky terrain in the center where you can move about. Lunaris district, hey. So you guys arrive in the Gleaming Glade is where you arrive, actually.
All right.
So you see that there's the teleportation circle arrives in the center of the Gleaming Glade. There is very nice buildings that are built into the sides of these trees. You can see that there is a central part of town where there are rocks filling a courtyard with a magnificent fountain that seems to be made out of some sort of dark gemstone, and it's just pouring silver, nearly glowing water to the how silvery it is as it pours through, and it doesn't seem to make a splash where it lands in the water. It just gently cascades in with no noise. You walk by a few people on your way headed south to what the grove itself, the glowing grove, does take up probably a good third of the entirety of Lunaris district. It is the largest section, and you can even see it from here. There's just this opening that just leads straight down when you go south through whatever bit of infrastructure they have here, where it just opens straight up into the glade. So as you guys begin heading south along this way, you pass a few people who sort of nod to you cordially. Some of them appear to be Feykind. Some of them just appear to be elves that are rocking, some nice silver and like purplish clothing. All of them sort of just like embracing this sort of twilight, this like dark nexus of Fey realm, and just like dressing the part for to just. You remember you passed a couple of her soldiers, like the ones that you saw just wearing like the silver and purple armor, pass by,
Sure.
the ones that you originally saw down in the Grung village. And as you exit your way out of the gleaming glade, there are these massive trees that just sort of surround the. My brain keeps breaking. Twilight Grove, Gloaming Grove, Twilight, Gloaming, Twilight, Gloam, Twilight. So many synonymous words used to describe things. But as you make your way in there, the second you step inside to this grove, you, Seti, feel like you have entered your own inner realm for a moment. There's like this weird sense of like synesthesia, and you almost feel like you can hear cackling in the distance
It's
behind the
strange
tree.
because it feels a little bit like a violation that now everyone is entering my inner realm.
Yes. And the strangest thing of all is that Mitnir, the second that you enter this place, you feel so at home. And you don't know why, but you're like, God, the fact that I ever left here, who would do that? Who would leave this place? As you once again succumb to your obsession with the Cloaming Grove, for which you have never wanted to leave ever.
And then he's just like,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, you look over, he's just like literally like hugging a tree. He's like rolling in the grass like a dog.
Yeah, this place can be hard to leave. Just bear that in mind. It kind of works its way into you and makes you think you want to stay forever.
I want to stay forever. As he's hugging the tree.
The tree kind of like, you can see the branches are kind of like wrapping around him slowly.
No, I commit there.
You pull it, and as you do, you see there's teeth in the bark.
Bad tree.
But I just want to stay.
We're going to stay for now and watch Orin fly around with his thing.
As you
Let's
guys
see it.
begin,
Guess we should be quick about it and not linger too long in here.
Yeah.
For the
It's
duration
Goldblow
of this,
with us.
Mitnir pays zero attention. It's just like grass, flower, like just everything else.
Somebody keep an eye on Mitnir.
so you say, he's like, oh yeah, right. So he pulls out the board. You were completely blurry, Beelan.
Oh yeah.
You got full blur. So he pulls the board out, and it's like probably about like a 5 foot long board as he like like Mary Poppins it out of his bag, and he just like kind of like sets it. And the second he like puts it down, he just kind of like tosses it out almost, and just goes, and it just kind of like hovers right there above the ground, even without any activation. Just the Zephyrite itself, just enough to keep it afloat off the ground before it touches. And as the grass starts to like part a little bit. Suddenly there's like this breeze that just sweeps across all of the rolling hills of grass, and all of the flowers start to like part and sort of fall away, and you see what looks like an old dragonborn with like pink and blue coloration. You guys have seen him before as Caraxus in his like old misenly form comes out the way and goes, "It has been a while. Welcome back to the Gloaming Grove, O Twilight One, and
Hello.
friends."
We're here to test a flying machine.
A flying machine. I
Sort
see
of.
that. Well, fair enough. I have told the flowers to stay low. Don't disturb the inner garden.
Of
Keep
course.
away from there. In the interim, I will twist space so that you will not go too deep in direction. That will keep your friend. He's made here just like once again just from. Well, I will tell the plants not to devour him.
Thank you. That would be very helpful.
Of
He seems
course.
keen on getting devoured.
Keep your stay here short, but enjoy the grove.
It's beautiful as ever.
Your ability to return is guaranteed unless you would like me to drop you elsewhere when you leave.
We'll see.
Cool.
Well, fair
Thank
enough.
you.
Just give me a holler. Also, would you like some tea while participate in this? So I do
Oh, we
enjoy
just had
company
lunch.
every now and again. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I have my own things to attend to as well. And he just just like stretches out and you see this and he just like sort of like roars and you see like just like this spray of magic mist come out of his mouth. He goes, I have other things to attend to anyways. And just dragon flies off in the distance.
Thank you, goodbye. That was Caraxes.
Holy shit, sis, you know fucking dragons?
Well, just the one. There was another one, but we killed it.
That dragon was like mad fairy-like, bro.
Yeah, this is a fairy place. Hyacinth is like full fae, just like our dad.
Just in case anybody forgot what Caraxes looks like, I will post it.
Pretty sure I have a mini of him.
That is Caraxes.
All right, let's do this. I want to see it.
All right. Well, I mean, it's there hovering in front of you, and then I'm just gonna hop on it and start going.
So you hop on, and then you just immediately make a dexterity check because, like, you hop on. There's like that moment where it's like, does he click in time? Does he like remember to click in the board?
16.
Relative locking mechanism. Yeah, okay, you do. So he just hops on the board, and as he does, like his foot just slides in and just clicks to the right, and you like hear like a kind of, and as it does, you become spatially locked to the. Your feet become spatially locked to the board. This same way an immovable rod works. And you seem to have lean control. Things seem to be working as intended.
It's
like-
I'm gonna start like.
All right,
Going-
first test, balance control. Guys, throw shit at him.
Oh shit!
He's like, bro, I've got so many rocks for this. You see Lubber just starts pulling out rocks.
Yeah, get him.
So he's got rocks from as small as pebbles to he pulls out like 2 or 3 rocks that are about the size of a softball.
Wait, none of the ones that weigh like 200 pounds.
No, about the size of a softball. And does anybody want to throw rocks at Orin
Yeah.
while he's on the board?
Sure, let's throw rocks at him. Let's go.
All right, make an attack roll.
Why do I have to be infatuated with the plants?
This is just straight up dex, right?
Yeah. Dex
Ooh, 20.
20. Does 20 hit your armor class?
Nope.
No.
Yeah. So as he throws at it, your armor class is uninhibited while on the board because you rolled well enough in its creation time. So now you have found that out. Throw it at him. It just goes. And you see he kind of like shifts his weight to one side, and the board kind of like moves with him. Kind of just like another rock. He kind of like spins, like almost like just like a 360 spin, and just kind of like out of the way, just shifting his weight around. He's like, okay, got to keep it quick, all right. And then he pulls 2 6-shooters out of his hips. How fast can you move? And he starts shooting at you.
Guess I'll
That's
start
a
looking at it.
natural 20 for a 36. Not 36. That's an exaggeration for a 30.
I mean, that'll hit, obviously.
So he just like shoots you, and you get hit by just like it just like it doesn't hurt. It's like, but it like impacts you. Goes boom. And she's like
Shooting paintball pellets at me.
yeah, basically. It's like, all right, keep moving. Come on, try again. Second natural 20 hits you straight in the face.
So, I think you're trying too hard there.
It's like I don't think you're trying at all. 25.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Just hits you a third time.
Holy shit, dude.
Spins his guns around, places them straight back in his holsters, and he's like, well, I don't know for certain, but maybe he's just bad at this.
Or you're just a really good shot.
I'm just
He has
aiming
a-
for your.
You are a really good shot. Oren can normally dodge everything. I mean, no, that's not true. You do get hit a lot, but
I mean, it's not really. I'm not that good a shot. Here, look, and he throws a coin, like just chucks it out and tries to shoot it.
I'm on net 20. Let's go.
No, it's 17, just boom, misses.
Now
I'm
you're
not that
almost
good a shot.
can I try to Eldritch Blast the coin as it's falling?
As it's falling, yeah, go for it. DC to hit this coin at this point is 25.
Well, that's gonna miss, but I get 2 of them. Oh, that's a 21, so I also miss.
Now I want to do a
The
shillelagh.
coin is now
Wait,
in
not
the
a
grass.
shillelagh.
Because
So you
throws
wanna
it
get
goes
a
up,
try?
I'm gonna walk up and hit it on the ground.
No, I get the ranged. I got frostbite or poison spray.
Okay, we'll give it a shot.
Oh shit! I haven't done this in so long. How do I do? Oh wait, no, they're cons. I don't roll. Never mind.
Yeah, it's got to be an attack roll. You can't, yeah.
I'll do a fire thing. Wait, no, do
No,
it.
she just goes,
Come on.
heat metal.
God damn it! I don't have anything.
Sets
I wanted
fire
to be
to the
part of
building.
it. Okay.
Okay, from the tower, Grimm's chill touch. No. I rolled a 26, but I'm not there. So
You could just try throwing a rock at it, Rob. So you don't, everybody else was just doing
I'll
rock.
throw a rock.
All right, roll dex. You're not proficient, so just roll dex.
A flat dex.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Headbutt it, Nick, here.
19. I would have had to nat 20.
19. So you throw it, goes. It actually gets like closer than his bullets got as you all this stuff just flies into the distance.
Perfect.
And he's
All
like,
right, so it turns out none of us
Lightning
are
bolt!
lightning breath.
Yep.
You just go, bah! Do it. Go for it.
I did it. There is no roll for it. It's just an attack in a straight
No,
line.
So at this point, the coin has hit the ground, and just an arc of lightning comes out of Mitnir's mouth, and just like and just goes through. Orin like shifts on his board. He's like, "Whoa." Like this lightning goes like right past you, Orin. And you look and you just see like smoke rising from Mitnir's mouth, just like a little waft of like.
This
of
place
smoke.
is great. Just rolls over.
Let's maybe not shoot lightning at the board. Just saying.
Like,
Yeah, maybe.
it's like you guys are not crazy, bros.
Well, we like to have
Like,
fun.
I thought about throwing a rock, but like your friends are scary. And
But
he's like,
we just
"All right,
demonstrated none of us have super great aim, so.
all right, so we've done that. Now we will test your mobility. So, speed.
Yep.
He's waiting for you to take off and just see how fast you go.
I'll take off. I
Are you just trying to go as
don't
fast
know
as
what I'm supposed to
possible?
roll. Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's not really a roll. It's movement, right? So you just find out what the movement speed is on your board.
I mean,
so-
I have 60 movement speed, so I don't know what the board has.
You have 60 movement speed just base.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. To roll the movement speed, we're going to roll it right now. So
Monks are dope, bro.
monks are dope.
Mhm.
All right. So I want you to, I'm going to try to figure this out in my head. So you're going to roll me 4d10
Like individually or all together?
all together.
Not very great. 22 total.
22. That's not too bad. So as you begin to ramp up the speed on this thing, you realize that you can go very fast, faster than you thought you could go. Like you start to like ink up the speed bit by bit. You're like, okay, 60 feet, this is me moving at my speed. 120 feet, this is me completely sprinting or whatever. And you're like 220 feet per round as you peak. And you're just zipping through this area. But as you do, I need you to make me a dexterity check to keep the board from like
A check or a
losing
save?
control. Saving throw is fine.
Save? Okay. 24.
24. So once you reach full speed, you are very close to fall, like just knocking off, and like just like the board is just like shaking, like your legs are like, this is the fastest you've ever gone on a vehicle ever. And well, except for the zoomers were pretty fucking quick. But this thing is like you're flying on this board, and people are watching you go, and you are zipping a lot faster than you anticipated. The Zephyrite has managed to make you near weightless, and the acceleration that comes from the aquam that burns once you hit full, and this is not without like overdoing the engine. This is keeping it like just at its max rev. You found that you could go about 220 feet at max speed.
Sweet.
It does consume aquam though. The more you
That
You zip
is
around.
very fast. Like, oof.
All right.
All right, so for your movement for this thing, your max speed is going to be 220 feet. Your base movement speed, I'm going to say
110.
no. Your base movement speed is going to be 55 feet on the board. That is just like coasting. And then you can accelerate once to get to 110, and accelerate twice, and those cost aquam to do so. So your base coasting speed without costing aquam is a third of that. That's not right. Half and half, a quarter of that. So 55 feet. So 55 feet is its base movement. And then it goes up to 110 if you accelerate, which is going to cost you 1 aquam per round doing that, and then 2 aquam for this major acceleration. And now we're going to roll. He's like, all right, so let's see how long you can sustain capacity. Keep max speed going for as long as you can before you run out of aquam.
How much aquam does the board hold?
Now that's what you're going to roll. So
Okay.
I want you to go ahead and roll me 5d10.
5 seconds later.
23. I beat my old one by 1.
So you rolled 23?
Yeah. That's not even average. That's less than
Yeah, that's a
average.
worse roll.
Extra
Yeah.
D10 and you beat it by 1.
The other one was exactly average.
All right, so you have 23 aquam. That is the max capacity that you currently have on that board. Is the number you just rolled. So
Okay, that's fine. That's still plenty of rounds.
yeah, so you get 23
11
before
rounds
you have
max
to
speed.
refill it.
Was that's 23 accelerated rounds, or did I misunderstand?
That's 23
No,
rounds
aquam.
of 23 aquam is what the board has in it. So for whatever features he uses for it, that is the thrust capacity is 23 maneuvers
So 23 rounds at 110 or 11 rounds at 220.
at 220.
So you'd probably need to use one to get to 110 and then another to get to 220 anyway, right? So.
You can burst speed all the way to top speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can just use 2 and move straight to 220.
Then you probably should need to.
But when you have to make a dexterity saving throw to keep from flying flat when you do that. Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't have to do it if you just go one to the next. Like if you do accelerate and then accelerate again, no dexterity saving throw. If you just go 0 to 60, 0 to 220, you know, there's a chance you will just go just flip upside down. Cool. I'm like, all right. So next we have is hover height. How high can it hover?
All right, let's find out.
Okay. I need you to roll me 5d10.
Let's beat a 23, shall we?
17.
Is it bad that I hope it rolls a 5?
There you go.
31.
That's much better. I just have
What'd
to
you roll?
say a low number to trick it.
31.
31. I'm going to round that off to 30 to just keep it simple. So you've got a 30-foot hover height without having to put, like, you can get up to 30 feet just by using a little bit of your own arcane energy into the board to accelerate the energy that pours into. So that counts as a maneuver that you can do is raise. You can raise and lower it willfully anywhere between 0 and you not even, it doesn't even count as a maneuver. It's just something you can do, right? You can raise and lower it between 0 and 30 feet in a round, as long as you are also counting that movement as part of your movement.
So
You see what I'm saying?
Base height.
So you can move vertically 30 feet, but that would count as 30 feet of movement, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just like flying or anything.
It's just like
else.
flying.
Yeah.
You basically have a flying height limit of 30 feet without expending a maneuver.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, hit the low thrusters. You hit the thruster once, 60 feet. You hit the thrusters again, 120 feet off the ground.
60 foot, and I assume 1 aquam.
1 aqua. and for 120 foot leap off the ground. So on a full burn maneuver, you can lift yourself up to 120 feet off the ground on the board.
While going 220.
When you do
through the
that-
burn 4 elk.
Make a strength saving throw to keep from buckling on the board.
That's for the full boost.
The full boost upwards.
You want me to do one now, I assume, right?
Mhm.
Ooh, nat 20 for 28.
28. So yeah, he watches you feel strain on your legs as this thing like launches you in the air. You guys watch as he just like skyrockets 120 feet into the air. And it's just wild. And he just sort of like sinks back down, hits 30 feet, kind of coasts, and then lowers himself back down to position. Kind of like kind of spinning as he does it. It's like 120 feet. That seems about right. We had good lift. We got good acceleration. Mobility seems good. You have fine-tuned control. Doesn't seem to affect your ability to dodge attacks in any way, shape, or form. Seems solid.
To go back down, I'm just going to flip over and go down. And then flip back.
Yeah, it's flip over and go down, flip over and flip back. And it seems that the relative positioning lock is holding intact. Thank God for that. I would have felt real bad if he just fell to his death when he turned upside down.
He can fly. He would have been all right.
Oh, yeah. I would have fallen to my death.
Well, this is
have
really
feather fall.
This is really cool. You guys did an amazing job. I mean, right? This is a smashing success, yes?
Absolutely. I think given the materials that we're using, couldn't have asked for better. In theory, we might have been able to make something that got a little bit more height if we used something a little bit less. Well, we wanted to get all of the arcane circuitry done well, so we used namely mithril in the board. It was mithril, right? Mostly that we use on the board.
Yep.
For its conductivity, mithril's light, but it doesn't itself have a lifting property, whereas float would probably be the best choice. That's often used in airships to keep them light and floating. Sunlight actually can cause them to rise on their own. So using just a small amount of luminescent magics is enough to get the entire boat to float just a little bit, and then use the Zephyrite to get it in full scale. So if we use that we could probably get some more lift, but we probably lose out on speed, overall power for the aqua boost. So I think it's probably about as close as we can get to a good product where we are in our development.
Yeah, this is Mach 1. This is the first version.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool.
Specs look great, Oren. I'm really, bros. I am super impressed that you like totally rubbed that board real good. You said you made that board? That's super dope.
Yeah. I've made a lot of things.
A lot of work, a lot of effort, and
Yeah,
I think
hey,
this thing's about ready.
If they wind up making me something to help me disarm traps better, do you want me to ask them to make one for you too?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, sure, traps can be troublesome sometimes, so yeah, totally, sis, I would totally pay you money for those.
All right. Well, if we crack it, then I'll let you know, and we'll get the second.
Well,
copy.
try not to crack it, I don't want a broken pair.
Well, you know what I mean. If we figure out how to do it.
Sure, yeah, for sure, definitely hit me up with that.
Yeah. Cool.
So, with that, I guess now that we have a finished product,
we should probably get out of the grove because we don't.
Now
want
that we got a finished product, and yeah, you guys, you collect the board, you watch the plants kind of move back, and you guys.
Thank you, Garaxus.
It's like, tea next time. You hear over the wind. And then it's like, as you guys begin making your way, it's like, I think the last thing we need to do is just name it. What do you want to call this thing? Just hoverboard Mark 1, or?
I was thinking Zephyr board.
Ooh.
Zephyr board. Yeah.
You mean make float base?
Zephyr board Mark 1. I'll get it engraved. Or would you rather have a flame decal? So it can go faster.
It
I don't want no
is
flame decal.
scientifically proven.
No flame decal.
If you put a flame decal on it, it'll boost the speed.
It's an arcane flame decal.
An arcane flame decal. And it'll shoot fire out the butt when it accelerates.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
No, I think it's fine. Right now, like it's blue. Like the light that comes out of it's kind of blue, and like when he hits the jets, like basically like these blue propulsion systems like burn off this gas, and it's just like kind of like a blue, not even like flame because it's not exactly a flame, but it's just like blue jets just send stuff out.
Yep, naming it after my monster that I made.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so as you guys continue zipping around and having the bestest good old time, you head on back to Teleportation Circle and back to Selindor Academy.
We sent Labra home.
Yeah, Labra.
Maybe
Labra's
there's
like,
a moment where like Setil's like, oh, we should, like, do we hug? Is that?
it's like, yeah, I'll crush you with my bones, bro. And he walks up and he just like grabs you and like squeezes you, but not hard enough to hurt you.
Oh, I was real scared there for a second, but this is fine. It was so nice to hang out. I'll be in touch. Next time I meet your
next
friends.
time, totally mud shack. He points to Minir, totally mud shack.
Minir, you'd
Minir's
love
like
the
in a
mud
tree.
shack.
Bro, they sell a
we're
crab
leaving.
that's the size of my whole torso.
We're-
You can totally eat it.
We're
Ooh.
back
Yeah,
in
introduce
at the
him to your friend,
teleportation
right?
circle.
I know.
We're-
Oh yeah, you guys can make Zanya. She's totally the best.
Yeah. She sounds amazing. I can't wait to meet her. It's going to be so much fun. And yeah,
All
I
right.
Get it.
love the mud shack.
Drag Mitnir out of there.
For sure, good time, sis. Totally awesome. I will see you on our next excursion together.
Absolutely.
And then he goes, okay, bye. And disappears through the teleportation circle.
What do you guys think of Labra?
Yeah, it's great.
He is great. I like him a
He
lot.
carries around useful stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look. I told you, any gem or rock stuff, I mean, he's our guy now.
Well, don't we technically have our own stuff?
Well, I mean, that gets us money, not necessarily metal. We get discount on metals, though.
Yeah, I mean, if there's something that like Black and Delaware can't get for us, because it's a pretty limited supply, what's in that vein? Anyway, very cool board. I feel really good about today. I did spot another bad guy around the school, so there's that to keep in mind. It was, I mean, black robe. You got to watch out for those black robes that, you know, it's a specific type of black robe. I don't know, but anyway. He seemed to be watching people, and I think he might have been watching us when we left. Somebody was watching us when we left, and might be watching us when we get back. But,
That's fine.
yeah.
We want them to
So-
notice us.
So spooky
Fuck.
guys in black robes. A puddle bit me today.
A what?
A puddle. It bit me.
You mean like an ooze, like we fought before?
No, puddle. And he pulls out the tooth like, see, it bit me.
Is the tooth-
Bropsy, make a nature check.
Okay.
Since you're the only one there who might recognize a tooth, potentially.
22.
22. This is in fact a
I
snake's
got a nat 20.
fang. This is in fact a snake's fang of some kind. You can see there is even still a little bit, like it seems to have broken off.
Ooh.
Only the tip of whatever it is, but you can see where there is in fact a small like reservoir for where like poison might have come from.
Oh.
So whatever this was, it was definitely a poisonous, and based on the size of the reservoir and how big it begins to get, you imagine that the entire size of this tooth was probably close to 6 to 8 inches long.
Oh my.
So whatever this thing was that tried to bite him was a very, very large snake and very poisonous.
Venomous.
Are you feeling
Venomous. Venom, not poison. Venom.
Well, I mean, I feel fine. Except for it tried to bite me. It was rude.
Wait,
Since the new
so
puddles bite.
Did it try to bite you or did it start to bite you? Did it bite you?
I need a complete walkthrough.
Was-
of
He
what-
just looks at you.
Where were you? What
Inside
did this
your
puddle look
person.
like?
It looked puddle-like, kind of round and amorphous, just kind of, lightly green in color.
Why? What? How did it bite you?
Well, I kind of stuck my toe in it, and then it bit me.
You
You
took.
stuck your...
Why did you stick your toe in the puddle? Did you step in it
Can
while
I
you were
do
walking?
some kind of a medicine check on it?
Uh,
Does he have spots? Is he sweating?
Yeah, make a medicine check.
I mean, we've been with him all afternoon. He seems fine.
Yes, but you see, this is a not kosher. That's a 29.
29? Yeah, it doesn't seem like you look at his toe, like the one that he says got bit. You can see that the scale seems a little bit chipped, but it didn't seem to have broken through to
Okay.
Yeah,
his flesh.
I was walking around the school, and there was a puddle, and I was stuck my toe in, and it bit me.
How about you don't stick your toes in, because this could have hurt you.
But
Do
what
we
if
need-
someone else sticks their toe in?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Now, do we need to go
Well-
find this puddle and kick its ass?
As you guys are having this conversation, and I
I assume
assume
we're-
you're heading up to your towers, right?
Yeah,
Your
back
relative
to
towers.
school.
You guys hit the upper landing plaza, and you hear a as suddenly like the side of one of the towers just blows out, and you hear, and you see a goat winged with fucking mushrooms, just fucking like a Pegasus, flies out of the side of the tower. And goes,
Is it the same goat I saw earlier
Starts
in the
starts
thing?
shooting like what looks like blue lasers out of its mouth and eyes. and
That's
just
the
flies
fucking
off.
goat. That's Grimm's goat.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Standing in the hole, and you just Bropsy's standing next to you, Grim, and Bropsy's like, "Oh shit." That's what we're intercession for today.
Poor little guy.
Wow.
Oh no.
Well, let
Might
me
not
add that to my notes
successfully
real quick.
Make the spell that I mean to, but I definitely created a really weird goat monster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end up accidentally making something that can just kill Northot on its own.
Maybe. No, but yeah, it is. You've created a monster.
That's okay. It's all part of the process.
It's just it's mutating super fast because of the spell that you did. So it's like super mutating the goat.
Now I feel because I had put the music on like arcane spooky, and then I switched it to arcane whimsical, and I was clearly
And
the
then
wrong
immediately-
choice.
Anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I had a good time. I hope you did
Yeah, that was
too.
fun.
We love you, and remember, we
We
did
did it for the
rolls.
rolls!
Oh,
Good night.
good night.